Welcome back to On Texas Basketball. Very special live stream here on the On Texas Football YouTube channel. I'm Jeff Howe, joined by Jerry Hamilton. We are watching Texas and Purdue. Longhorns back in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2023, only the second time since the 07-08 season, and we're going to watch it with you here on the channel. Jerry's going to be hanging out, producer Matt behind the scenes. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out in the chat. Questions, comments, always welcome. Super chats, as always, jump to the front of the line. Jerry, we'll get to the game here in a second, but I do want to thank our lead sponsor for the live stream tonight, and that's our good friends over at Von Lane. You know, the airlines are at it again. You probably heard one of the big ones just moved to assigned seating, but here's the catch. If you buy their cheapest fare, you don't actually get a seat assigned until you check in. If you want to pick your own seat, that'll be $80 or more. Oh, they're charging for checked bags now too. It just keeps adding up. Meanwhile, Von Lane is out here doing the opposite. No bag fees, no surprise charges, and especially right now, thankfully, no TSA lines. You show up at a beautiful hotel terminal, walk in minutes, settle into one of just 22 oversized leather seats with complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, drinks, and hot towel service. On select departures, you even get a complimentary meal. And the Wi-Fi, it's Starlink internet, so it actually works. Try saying that about the airline's Wi-Fi at 30,000 feet. Von Lane just added more departure times between Houston and San Antonio and between Fort Worth and Austin, so it's easier than ever to fit a trip into your schedule. Von Lane serves Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. Visit vonlane.com and use the promo code OTF26 to get $20 off your first trip. Von Lane, it's a private jet on wheels.
All right, guys.
Jerry, two big injury situations, Jerry, that we were monitoring. Yeah. Jordan Pope in the starting lineup for Purdue, and CJ Cox in the Jordan Pope in the starting lineup for Texas. CJ Cox in the starting lineup for Purdue. As Rod Babers joins us, Jerry, quick thought.
Yeah. So look, with Jordan Pope, it's not, he was limping around in warmups. It's not like the offensive part because you control your own movement. It's defense. What do you do defensively? What happens when your foot gets stepped on? It's not his ankle, it's his foot. So what happens in that? CJ Cox did practice yesterday. Pope didn't practice yesterday. So both those guys are going to give it a go today. And Pope is guarding Cox. They do not have him on Braden Smith. There's a quick foul on Mark, and that's the trouble in this game. You can't get in foul trouble early if you're Texas. But Pope and CJ Cox trying to give it a go. We'll see what they have in the tank. Mark was limping in warmups. The head trainer was over working on him. So we'll see what it looks like defensively when he has to move, fighting through screens, all those sorts of things. But made three from the corner there by Fletcher Lawyer. But we'll see how Pope handles the pain as the game moves along. I think that's going to be the big thing. He's visibly limping to start the game. We'll see how long he can last. He has a real injury, guys. Some people are, hey, is Sean Miller playing cat and mouse? No, he's not. This is a real injury. And I imagine after the season, whenever that is, people will talk about the severity of the injury. And I think it'll probably surprise people a little bit.
Yeah, if it's a real injury, then he's definitely going to be at his most effective early.
Before the defense, before he has to start cutting and moving off that foot. So we'll see how long he can go and how effective he is. That's what happens when you play Purdue. That's the danger. Offensive rebound, kick out three, Lawyer 2 for 2 from three. Purdue is coached so well by Matt Painter. Offensive rebounds are kicked out to open three-point shooters by Cuff a large percentage of the time.
Wow. Yeah.
Big shot for Mark there from the right wing to make it 6-3. Kaufman Wren is the guy that Texas really, really is working on defensively in this game. Because when they get into the ball screen game with him, Texas is going to play some drop coverage. Good steal by Mark there. But they got to keep him from catching the ball at 6-7 feet and getting to that push jump hook. If they can do that, they'll be in a decent spot defensively. Offensively, Swain and Mark have favorable matchups in this game. They both have to have big nights offensively, especially if Pope is limited.
Good movement.
This is the guy. I mean, Wren is the guy that really worries them. I mean, Lawyer down 2 for 3. That's going to be a push off on Matas. Damn. See, that's the problem because Matas runs over the double. Wren, then he's not in position under the basket. So he gets caught in a tough position. But Texas, Kaufman-Wren's who really worries him in this game. They think it's a tough matchup for them, for Texas, because he's 6'9", 240, and really plays with power. He's not a big-time athlete, but he plays with power very well.
Yeah, two of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country in this one that we've talked about. And we already saw Purdue with Oscar Clough being able to get that rebound earlier and kick it to Lawyer for the 3. 6'3", in case you are audio only for any reason. Getting close to about a minute away from the first media timeout of the half.
And the crazy thing about
smart by Brayden. Go ahead, Rod.
Well, I'm saying the crazy thing about both of these teams being really good offensive rebound teams, they're two of the shorter teams in the Sweet 16. If you go look at like overall height, even Purdue, they're one of the shortest teams in the Sweet 16. Rebound is a skill.
Great, good foul there on Lawyer from behind on the reach. Braden Smith, super smart basketball player. What did he do? He went right into Oscar Clough. The first opportunity he had after Matas picked up 1 foul. They will try to get the second foul on Matas as quickly as possible. That will be Purdue's goal, while not deviating from a game plan, obviously. But Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, they played a lot of ball. They're going to go after.
If you look at Pope and Mark for Texas and Smith and Lawyer for Purdue, tonight makes 601 combined college games those 4 guys have played.
Wow.
Texas got him into a good switch there somehow, some way, and Fletcher Lawyer was trying to block out Matas on an offensive rebound, no chance. So rebound, offensive rebound, and dunk for Matas. Braden Smith's first 3 is out, does not go down. But offensive rebound, another offensive rebound. So a couple offensive rebound scores here. Man, Jordan Pope is really gutting this out, guys. I'm just telling you, when y'all hear about his injury, it's going to be you're going to be, wow, he actually played. Not super effectively, but he's out there.
Showing heart. A lot of it.
It's interesting postseason for him too, because he started his college career at Oregon State. They go to Portland for the first and second round. And he's an Oakland kid, so he's back in the Bay Area for the Sweet 16 and maybe an Elite 8 game. So
he's really essentially out here. He's essentially out here, so Purdue has to guard him, and then they're going to see if the other guys can work their matchups. That's what's going on here. Jordan Pope is out here because Purdue has to guard him, and because they have to guard him, that can help free up some space on the floor for Swain and for Mark. In this game, and that's essentially why he's out here, guys, because he's definitely limited. The limp's getting a little worse as we watch this, so we'll see how much he can go in this game. But he has to be guarded out to 25 feet, even with an injury.
Man,
great move by Matas there. Cup cannot guard him. He does not have the feet.
No.
He does not have the foot quickness. If they can get it to Matas and Matas can make a move quick before Purdue runs a double at him, then he has a chance to have a big night. Because Cup doesn't have the foot lateral agility to guard him in the paint. He can only guard him with a bump.
Rod, Jerry, and I talked about it. I think everybody looks at Modest just in terms of height and size. I hope this NCAA tournament runs open some eyes. His feet are really, really good. Like, he's a really good athlete at his size.
No, that last move showed it. I mean, that was some beautiful footwork. Ooh. Man, Purdue is they're stroking it.
Good shot by Pope off the ball screen, 12-12. Yeah, Ryan Nelson said Pope can't guard. Pope cannot. He is not going to be able to move well laterally in this game at all.
You got to guard him, though, like you said.
Yep, you got to guard him. So that opens up space for everybody else. And that's why he's always been key this year. Even, when some people, a lot of fans are like, Pope, he's not this, he's not that. But when guys shoot it as well as Pope does, you have to guard him 25 feet. And unless you have 4 of those guys, Look, Texas isn't at a place where they have 3 or 4 of those guys right now. They're at a place where they have 2 of those guys on this team. Mark's feeling it. That's a good sign. Purdue's going to struggle to guard Mark. They almost have to make a decision between Mark and Swain.
Yeah.
Both of them will have favorable matchups throughout this game, and whoever has the favorable matchup in this game has to attack it.
Yeah, Jerry, those 2 guys attacking off the bounce, that's something I was thinking about because Purdue, Texas, one of their strengths offensively is their free throw rate, their ability to get the line. Purdue just doesn't foul a lot. So can you kind of force the issue and see if you can draw some fouls? Because this shouldn't be a high free throw game for Texas, just based on the way Purdue plays.
Yeah, Mark already has 10 points in this game, by the way. By the way, no timeout. So we're going to have the 16-minute timeout and the 12-minute timeout and back-to-back stoppages of plays, you guys.
Yeah.
Because we're at 12:25.
Hey, Texas is good with it because they got momentum right now. They're going. They're feeling confident. They don't need a stoppage. They're on a little run.
Offensive rebounding again. That's going to be a big deal. Purdue has 3 offensive rebounds, scored on 2. Texas has 3. As long as Texas can play them even in that scenario.
What is
points still?
The Nick Cody postseason reckoning continues.
That's a good sign. Look, Purdue, one thing we talked about in this game, Purdue defensively is the same level Texas is. Okay, so does that mean if you say poor, if you say below average, whatever you want to call it, both of these defenses, Purdue's the same as Texas is. They just have more experienced guys who have played together longer. But they're the same defensively. Purdue's given up 44.6% from the field this year. Texas has given up 44.7%. It's identical.
Yeah, if you look at last 10 games, defensive rating, these are the best 2 defensive teams, actually. If you look at defensive rating in the last 10 games, which is crazy. Texas kind of just flipped their identity a little bit. So it's awesome. Come on. Get it down low.
Yeah, foul and club. So we get to the first of 2 TV timeouts in a row here. Texas up 2018. Look, Texas couldn't ask for a better start to this game outside of Matas having a foul and Mark having a foul, but really Matas. This game has started about as well as it can for Texas. I mean, these guys played a long time before the first time out, by the way. But 4-9 from 3 in this game. Nick Cody hits a 3. The funny thing about Nick Cody, guys, and people wondered, well, why was Texas high on him going into the season? In the win over SMU in that scrimmage, he was 3 of 5 from 3 and had 16 and 9. And Texas walked away from there saying, "Ooh, if this guy can build off of this, he has a chance to turn into a good role player." He kind of went the other direction. Not kind of. He went the other direction. And he was totally out until Lassina Traore had his issue, which ended his career at Texas, ended his season at Texas. So it was more than knee. Obviously, I've hinted at that on OnTexasFootball.com. But Cody played really well in the preseason. And Texas was like, okay, this guy has a chance to do some things for us. And then it just went the other direction. And then I think he kind of went through a real lull, just belief in himself. And it's good to see him kind of dig out of it. And it's Rod, it's funny in sports. It only happened due to injury.
Yeah.
Suspension. If Lassina hadn't got suspended, Nick wouldn't have this opportunity.
Exactly.
But at least he's come in and made the most of this opportunity.
Yep. Which is what it's about. I mean, that's what the tournament's about, right? Making the most of the opportunities you got. So I think a lot of these guys, that's kind of what one of the storylines of the tournament that's been so gratifying for Longhorn fans, that a lot of these guys are playing their best ball now, and they really started to find their form at the right time, playing the best version of themselves at the right time for Texas. So hopefully that continues. Still continue right now with Mark right now. He's having a hell of a game so far.
Ryan Nelson said that Weaver minutes will be big, absolutely, in this game. I mean, look, this is This is a game that is – I still think this. I'll say this, even though Lawyer hit the 2 threes early, Kaufman ran 2 for 2 from the field, 2 rebounds, but where he catches the ball, Texas, he is the focal point of Texas defensively in this game. I can tell you for a fact. Everybody thinks, well, it's Braden Smith. No, it's Fletcher Lord. It's actually Kaufman Wren. He is the guy that they were really, really concerned with from a matchup standpoint. As you know, Purdue was worried about Tremont Mark or Dalen Swain or both from that standpoint. So, but Kaufman Wren, again, Texas wants to push him out. They don't want him catching the ball in the post at 6'8" because he's got that 70% push jump hook. And Texas isn't going to be able to defend that because he's thick and strong. He's going to play through your chest. So they want Kaufman Wren to have as quiet a night as possible, which quiet for him might be 14-8, honestly, in this game.
Damn.
You're not going to hold him down. You're not going to hold him down. But if you could keep him from having a big night, then that's kind of where Texas is at in this game with Kaufman Wren, because they think he's a tough matchup for this roster.
All right. Pope sitting down.
Now we have the other timeout. Have you ever seen that before, Jeff?
No, where you've got you hit the dead ball, the back-to-back dead ball timeouts for immediate timeouts. Here's my issue, concern, however you want to label it, guys, with the Jordan Pope situation. And Jerry, this is something I don't know, and I probably wouldn't know unless I'm a doctor, which I don't even play one on our YouTube channel. If he sits for a while, does it stiffen up, and is it harder for him to get back and going? Does he need to be on the stationary bike, or is it just one of those deals that regardless, he's just going to have to gut through it?
I think it's pain tolerance. I do know this. I will say this. He wouldn't be out there if it was anything that was going to really hurt him long-term, because he's going to play ball overseas. He's going to he'll have a career in basketball. So it wouldn't be anything where they're putting him in jeopardy in that regard. I think it's a pain tolerance thing. So we're not talking about obviously if it was a really bad foot injury, he wouldn't have had the chance to play. But I will say it's something that some people would not have played with. If it was earlier in the season, he would not be playing right now. This is like the plan was to just give it a go, see what happens. If he warmed up and it actually felt, because he hadn't done anything, guys. He didn't practice. Yesterday in the shoot around the 15-minute media, like Kurt Bowl said, back getting a treatment on his ankle because it was said ankle, but it wasn't ankle. And Sean kind of said it in the press conference after that lower leg. It's his foot, guys. If you go back and look at the play, it's not an ankle injury. It's a foot injury. And I think it's on the outside part of the foot, and that fifth metatarsal area would be my guess. I don't know for sure. So it's more of a pain tolerance thing for him. That ran not ankle. It's foot. So, but look, here's the thing too. Here's the thing going into this game and this is why I think Purdue struggles defensively. They're not a ball pressure defensive team. That's a really good matchup. Look, Texas has 0 turnovers. The teams that worry me defensively against Texas are the teams who can really pressure the ball with this roster. That's not Purdue. Gonzaga was not that. Purdue is not that. They're not a ball pressure defensive team for a couple of reasons, right? They're more of a passing lanes team. They're more of an instinctive team. But they're not going to ball pressure you. They're not going to press you 94 feet unless they're late in the game and it's a foul situation. So this is a favorable matchup for Texas in that regard. And then Mark and Swain at different points in times are going to have favorable matchups in this game. So that's one thing I really like for Texas in this game, is that Purdue is not that ball pressure defensive team, just like Gonzaga wasn't that ball pressure defensive team. So as long as Texas doesn't commit unforced turnovers and give away offensive possessions, you can score on Purdue, same as Texas. If you don't just have – Texas isn't a ball pressure defensive team. So if you don't commit unforced turnovers, you're going to score on Texas. This should be a high-scoring game unless these guys start kicking the ball to each other. That's the reality.
A quick plug for a couple things we got on the channel right now. Texas and OU starting a really big baseball series, SEC baseball series at Dish Fox starting tonight. That's actually at the top of the hour. Bases Loaded, which normally runs on the channel on Friday, was posted today. That's myself and Blake and CJ. And then Jerry's interview with Easton Royal went up on the channel.
Nice.
So nice big Thursday, nice Thursday recruiting video for everybody out there.
That's the so Matas had a foul. Really couldn't do anything. It's Kaufman Wren. Kaufman Wren was going to play into his chest to see if he could get a second. This is where this is really tough for. That's going to be a charge. This is where it's going to be really tough. That was a good job getting position under Swain. Good defensive play. But this is the situation that's tough for Texas. So Purdue goes small. Okay, what does that do? That forces Matas on Kaufman Wren. Purdue went to that on purpose. And they're probably going to attack Matas until they get a second foul, or Sean Miller has to make a move here to protect Matas a little bit. Well, I know I'd be going back to Kaufman Wren right now. Once again,
they just did. CBS has got to get rid of that floor level camera.
Okay, they sub Matas out, but Kaufman is he's the problem. Kaufman Wren's the problem because it's hard to play total drop coverage because the Purdue guards can shoot the basketball. But if he gets the ball at that 10-foot area, he's got that little push jumper, the push jump hook. That guy makes 70% from there.
Crazy.
Kaufman Wren, Jared, that push jumper, he does that push up. That'll probably remind a lot of Texas fans of Dylan Dessou. Dylan Dessou made a killing.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a nickname for that shot? I thought he had like a nickname for it. Dessou did.
I don't remember that, Rod. I mean, look, but we talked about this going into the game. Purdue does not – so they don't have guys that can match up with both Swain and Mark. It's a pick your poison type of situation for them. Mm-hmm. And right now, Mark is he is
having his way.
Yeah.
He's having his way.
It's really weird
attacking without picking up a second foul, knock on wood, offensively.
No, it's really weird too, guys, because we, going through an SEC schedule, there aren't many nights in that league where the Texas guards and wings have an athleticism advantage against the other team.
Yeah.
But to your point, Jerry, they do in this one.
That was a play right there by Cody, and he knew it. Cody's got to drop on that play and at least make Smith make a decision. He can't give him a straight line drive in that situation. You have to show on the screen, but you have to drop a little and force Smith to hesitate and make a decision. I mean, you can't play the ball screen game. You can't tag the ball screen game against Braden Smith like that as a big, else you're toast. You have to still force him to make a decision.
So hit we got a media timeout right now. 9:16. We're at the 9:16 mark of the first half. Purdue with a 1-point lead over Texas, 24-23. Texas guys 9 of 15 shooting, 8 for their last 9. Purdue 11 for 20, 3 for their last 3. As you said, Jerry, these two teams, if you're a team that's on paper about even with Texas defensively, probably should have taken the over in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the number was 147.5, which was interesting because I thought it might drift up a little bit more. It did not drift up a little bit more. Somebody early in the chat said the farthest a first-year coach at a school has made it in the NCAA tournament was the question. And I mentioned that a couple of times. The last coach to go to Elite Eight in his first year of school was Jerome Tang at Kansas State. He's now fired. The other guys, the other two, there's been 2 that went to a Final Four their first year at a school since 1990. That was Bill Guthridge at Carolina when Dean Smith handed him the keys, and Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson. And I think everybody knows what happens that's a college basketball fan with that team. And then Roy Williams handed Hubert Davis the keys and all those NBA draft picks, and he got to the national championship game and lost. Oh, and by the way, he's now fired.
That's crazy.
So, and I mean, that's the guys back-to-back years. Hubert went to the national title game in 22, I believe that was. I might be off on that in the chat. It was the year before UConn's too. So Jeff, I think it was 22, right?
You're right, Jay. Because Duke in the Final Four in the semifinals. That was Coach K's last game.
And then Tang was in 23 when he went to the Elite Eight with the little sawed-off guard that played out of his mind that's been in and out of the G League. But both those guys fired. Yeah. Both those guys fired. So first year, man, it's like Kansas State thought, wow, how are we going to keep this guy? He's going to be Bill Self's kryptonite, fired. So it's like it's no guarantees, but that's the history of that. There's only 2 first-year coaches at their schools still left. That's Sean Miller, and that's Ben McCallum, who's a great young coach at Iowa. So Sean Miller, obviously one of the elite coaches in college basketball.
Speaking of coaches fired and on the move, Rod, you wondering where LSU's keeping all this money? Because they're made the football coaching change. Now you got a basketball coach change, got a buyout, got Will Wade coming back. A lot of money flying around in Baton Rouge right now.
I know everybody. I don't know what the big industries are in Louisiana. I mean, I got family in Louisiana. I don't know what the big, but they do got some FU money out there in Louisiana somewhere. I don't know who it is, but it's definitely out there. That's crazy.
I mean, when you drive through that state, they're not spending it on roads, so they better have something.
Or schools. So
yeah.
A lot of I guess big fishing is in the pocket.
Maybe. I'm not sure what the big industry are in Louisiana, but whatever it is, it's supporting LSU. That's for damn sure.
13 on the clock after the Weaver kick.
Oh, come on. Come on. Ooh.
See, so what Purdue's doing against Swain is they have Braden. That's another straight liner. Can't do it. What Purdue's doing against Swain is they have Braden Smith on him, but they're going to straight double him. And this is what's happened. Weaver with a 3. My gosh, he needed that. You need the unlikely hero in this game. Cody hit a 3. You're going to need the unlikely hero. But what they're doing is this is what teams have done to Swain. They're not running doubles at him. They're not going to let him score 25 at this point. That's the freshman. Okay, that's a good miss. Swain with the ball. This is when he's really got to push, but he doesn't have numbers. Still forced it, but that was a tough one. And Weaver follows up. But teams aren't going to let Swain have nights offensively. They're going to make him distribute the basketball. And people are saying, well, why is he not scoring? Well, they're running a lot of doubles at him. Teams have decided, all right, Kendall Weaver, we're not even going to guard you. Go beat us. You know, that's kind of what they're doing. Cody, you want to shoot the 3? Just go do it. But teams aren't going to let Dalen Swain work one-on-one the whole game. Those days are over. That's not happening in the tournament. Too good of coaches, too much on the line. This isn't conference season time. So that's where everybody else, Swain just has to be the facilitator for this team and kind of be the pseudo point guard for this team and do his best to let everybody else get the best looks they can. And then Swain's got to score off of that when his opportunities present.
Yeah, we've talked about it throughout the year, guys. Jordan Pope may be the point guard in terms of title, but Dalen Swain's been your best facilitator offensively. Through those first 3 NCAA wins they've had, he's been 12 assists, 1 turnover through those first 3 games.
Yeah. Wow.
Kaufman-Wren is just he's an issue. They knew he was going to be an issue in this game, and he is an issue in this game. So we're at the under 8 timeout. Purdue up 28-25, 13-8 on the glass. That's starting to get away from Texas in this game. Now, what's happened is Texas is 4-12 from 3. They're getting a little 3 happy in this game. Cody hit 1. Mark's 2 of 4. He should shoot them. Pope made 1. But Kendall Weaver taking 2 threes this early in the game. I don't know if he feels they're not going to guard him, but those aren't necessarily the winning plays that Weaver's been making for Texas. He's got to put the ball on the floor. He's got to put some pressure on Purdue here. They're not going to guard him. Nobody's guarding him. They're like, if you want to shoot a 3, go for it. But I still think while it's so easy, you have all that space, I still think he needs to take a couple of attack dribbles, even if he pulls up from 16 feet, do something other than catch and shoot 3s in this game because Purdue's going to give it to him. They don't care. They're like, if you make 4 or 7 threes against us, we'll shake your hand at the end of the game. But we're not going to let Dalen Swain have room to work. We're not going to allow the other guys to beat us. It's going to be you from 3. If you want to take them. We'll live with the results. So I think Kendall's got to be very cognizant of that and still attack, even if it's off a dribble to get to a mid-range jumper. I think he's got to do that because shooting the three is just not his game. And if he settles for those, that helps Purdue in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah. 2 threes in 3 minutes of play? He hadn't played that much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If he has 3 field goal attempts and 2 or 3s, that's what Purdue wants. You're happy at that point.
I agree with that.
Hey Rod, can I admit something here at the risk of sounding like an idiot for the chat?
No,
I only mentioned because we just saw a commercial. Until my daughter was born, I started reading kids' books with her. I didn't know narwhals were real animals. I thought they were like just some mythical creature. They're like, oh damn, they're real. Like, oh.
That is pretty good though. They do look like they would be some.
Yeah, like it looks like it's a gimmick or a rib or something.
It does. It does look like that. I agree with you on that. Yes, and they are very popular in the kids' books because my daughter's got a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, that was one where my wife didn't get to hold many of those over me, so I still get that one thrown at me.
You shouldn't have admitted it. You should have kept that one to yourself. The unicorn of the sea.
The unicorn of the sea. Exactly.
That's awesome.
All right, we're coming back here. Passing another media timeout, 6:45 mark of the first half. Texas trailing Purdue 28-25. Jerry, overall though, shooting's cooled a little bit though, but man, a 10 for 20 start. Couldn't ask for more than that. Tremont Mark got 12-year 25. Still would like to see Swain get going, but Jerry, as you mentioned, they're throwing doubles at him. They want him to be more facilitator than a scorer. And we'll see what happens with Jordan Pope once he gets back in this game. Again, just gutting through that injury. Your lineup right now, for those who can't see the screen or are waiting for action to come back, you've got Pope, Weaver, Wilcher, Heidi, and Modest on the floor.
So they're going small. They're going to try to go athletic against Purdue right now, who has Smith, Benter, Mayer, Harris, and Clough. So they're small too. So this is going to be small on small here. So we'll see how they attack. The zoom action with Braden Smith at the top of the key is some of the best stuff because of how smart a player Braden Smith is in college basketball. So that's a great pass. Got the miss. Could have been an over the back. Fight for that, Wilch. Yep, there you go. Get a cheapie.
Nice.
Wilcher's got to be strong with the ball. So fouls are 4-3. Purdue's got 4 fouls, Texas 3. The key for the last 6.5, I agree with Ryan Nelson. If you can get Matas in the half with 1 foul, but he's still got to play aggressive enough for as well. It's a fine line, but if you can get him in with 1 foul at the half, this is the first half's a win, as long as that doesn't get you down by 10, 12 points because he's not playing with any aggression. He's still got to play with aggression, but play with aggression without fouling.
Mm-hmm. Controlled aggression. Oh. He's fighting.
Rocky Poor asked, how would I compare this team to the Elite Eight team a few years ago? That was a better team, but they had obviously, the Dylan Dessou injury was brutal at the time. And it's still never really come out how that injury happened, right, Jeff?
No.
Pretty sure that was a locker room celebration injury. Can I say it now?
Oh, yeah. More
Pretty sure that was one of those NCAA locker room celebration injuries.
Those are the worst.
Brutal. Good shot by Pope.
Oh, you should have. Ooh. Yeah, great job by Pope.
There's some of those deals, Rod. I remember the 05 baseball team when they won the national championship. Because Augie had the rule, Texas has it. You only dogpile in Omaha. They do the dogpile on the mound. I want to say it was Todd Gilfillan got a spike to the face and cut him across the face. Yeah.
And during a celebration?
Yeah. You just won the national championship. You're dogpiling on the mound in Omaha and you get a spike to the face.
Come on, man. Watch out for your brother on that one. Come on.
So here's what you're seeing. Here's what you're seeing with Pope defensively. Texas is putting him on the guard who is the least likely, who's going to play off the ball and the least likely to put any pressure on him defensively. And so they're just pretty much hiding Pope on defense this game as much as possible. They don't want him guarding ball screens. They don't want him chasing. So he is not going to be guarding anybody that's going to force him to do a lot of change of direction movement, running over screens. Good kick by Swing. Good play. Made the right play.
It's a good look. Steve Golden.
See, so he's so slow coming around the ball screen to protect his foot. That's an issue defensively. He can't play ball screen defense in this game. So Texas has to find ways to hide him. Anytime he's guarding the ball, Purdue's going to run a ball screen against him because he just can't get over the top of it. And you can't play under against Purdue. Oh, come on, Matas. Get that foul. Get that pass up.
Oh.
Yep. Swain's just got to keep playing his game. Don't force shots.
Yep.
Like the game against BYU Gonzaga. People are like, why isn't he scoring more? Why isn't he attacking more? Because if he's taking a bunch of bad shots, they lose. He's playing smart basketball. That's the thing about it. He's playing smart basketball. Why do NBA teams like him? Because he knows how to play. He's not going to be a first or second scorer in the NBA ever in his career. What's he going to be? A tremendous role player who knows how to play in the NBA. And a guy that's a playmaker and a facility. Oh, my gosh. Matas, dude, they're going to review this. They're going to review it. And this is going to be at least a flagrant one. This is going to be at least.
It was just frustrating. What, he did the elbow? Oh, man. Yeah, he's just frustrated. Oh, yeah. Got him with the elbow. Definitely got him with the elbow. Oh, yeah. That was just frustration. Well,
all right. We hit the under 4 media timeout. 3:13 to go in the half, tied at 30. But Jerry, you just said it. There's going to be a review, and this could be a pretty big disappointment here.
Yeah, definitely the elbow.
Yeah. So Tony Matei says he's in the cylinder. That may be the case, but Matas' second foul. So that's the big deal. That's his second foul. Martin, he probably didn't know the defender. He didn't know where the defender's head and jaw were, but he obviously knew he was being double teamed. He knew he was being doubled. He might not have known where his jaw was.
Some of these, whether it's a cylinder deal or not, Jerry, it's like targeting in football. I mean, it's a 50-50 coin flip. You know,
it is. So last 3 minutes are pretty huge in this game because Matas will be on the bench. So Texas they have to really stay connected this last 3 minutes and a half. This is where your experienced teams, if Purdue's going to have that type of night, they see Matas out of the game. They maybe they go on a little run here at the end of the half. We'll see. But they're 2 of 11 from 3. And there's two things one of two things need to happen against Purdue, in my opinion, going into this game. Either Texas really limited Kaufman-Wren. That's a no so far. 10 points, 5 rebounds in 15 minutes. Or Purdue had to have an off night from 3. If Wren was getting his way and Purdue was making threes, Texas was in trouble in this game.
Yep.
So far, Purdue's 2 of 11 from 3. They made their first 2 of the game. They missed their last 9. So you can live with one of the 2. You can't really live with 2 of the 2 in this game because then you're talking about Purdue scoring 85, 90 points on you. So right now they have 30, missed 9 threes in a row. For the Texas side, for Texas, Mark just got really good rest. Now he can come back in for the last 3 minutes of this half, rested, playing really well, 12 points, 15 minutes. And they'll have to bring Cody back in. Obviously, Texas has 4 personal fouls. Purdue has 4 personal fouls in this game.
What did the final line end up being on the game, Jerry?
8.5 Purdue.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the line didn't move, and my bet is because they didn't know if Pope or Cox would play in this game.
Okay.
Cox has played pretty well, 6 points and 5 rebounds.
Oh. Don't look good. Yeah, you got that Joe.
It's 18 fouls before the elbow.
This review's been going on for a while. It's a long one. What are you discussing? Whether he saw him or not before?
Part of them has to be discussing that Matas got fouled and they didn't call it. CJ McDonald, the Euro dudes are brutal. Well, Matas is about as physical as it gets, man. But yes, they are. Yes, they are. There's the centers are generally very physical players. Matas is like extremely physical. So this is obviously it's going to be, if it's the call, it's going to be 2 shots plus ball.
Come on.
I don't have volume up.
So they added it. It's a double
Dead
foul.
ball. Dead ball
Modest
foul,
and
too.
Clough.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was what I was talking about. They obviously missed the foul call on Clough. So that is, by the way, his second foul too. So they know they missed the foul on Clough there with the arm. So then how were they going to react to that? But still, yeah, good luck lawyer missing these. That ain't happening. No chance.
So double foul, but Modest did get hit with the flagrant.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 fouls on Clough, 2 on Matas. Both will be on the bench. No blood for Purdue because they can live without Clough. Matas, we'll see what Texas does offensively. Without Matas, obviously Purdue gets the ball here as well.
What are we discussing now?
So big 3-13 left here at the end of the half for Texas defensively. It's a really big 3 minutes defensively for Texas. So Braden Smith out of the ball game, getting a little breather here. This is when a lot of times they run some really wicked zoom action with Fletcher Lawyer. If he gets his feet squared, it's done deal in college basketball for him. If he gets his feet set, he's a top 4, 5 3-point shooter in the college game. He can really shoot it.
It's a nice double screen right there. Top of.
By the way, his dad's, I'm pretty sure, is with the Bulls organization.
Oh.
All right. So the flagrant on Modest ends up being a 5-point swing Purdue's way.
Oh.
That was a That was actually a really good look from Swain. Cody's got to be ready for that.
Unforced errors.
Yeah.
All right, now it's make it a 7-0 run for Purdue now. That's tough, man. That's tough.
So you're at 37-30, and Braden Smith's 2 for 6.
Wow.
Great move by Swain. Smith tried to pressure him up a little bit, but that's not going to work on Swain.
Nice play.
They're better when they just kind of play arm away defense and run a double at Swain. Smith's not going to be able to pressure him. That's not going to work. Good job by Heidi there. Good job by Heidi.
Good game.
That's where that injury too. Pope couldn't get out and really run that wing like he normally can. He was a step behind where he would have been to get that shot in rhythm. I like the ball screen action with Mark and Swain. You get the switch on the Kaufman-Wren. Great shot, Pope. Great play, Dalen Swain. That's where Swain's such a good player. Is Swain didn't rush the play after he got the switch with Kaufman-Wren. He didn't immediately go into hyperdrive and try to attack. Yeah. He let the play develop. He read the defense once again, and he made a basketball play.
Could have went to hero
mode. He makes the correct basketball play. He's an invaluable basketball player.
They needed that. See, Purdue was getting ready to make a move. It felt like it.
Yeah.
They answered it. That was really good.
Like you said, Rod, 7-0 run for Purdue. Then Texas comes back with the Swain drive, and then Swain creating something for Pope there. So 103, Matt Painter takes a timeout. It's 37-35. Purdue. Jerry, if you're Matt Painter, I'm pretty sure you're drawing up some kind of action for Fletcher Lawyer right here.
Yes, it's going to be it'll more than likely be a Zoom action for Smith or Lawyer. And they may see who's if Kaufman-Wren. It's going to be Cody on him, but they may take a look at that. But if not, it's going to be a Zoom action for another 2 yards. Fletcher Lawyer, 9 years old, playing in the NCAA tournament for the 4th year in a row in his face. He looks like he's 9. If you just look at his face, it's like, hey, who's the little kid that's in the NCAA tournament making all the shots? So dribble handoff here. They tried to get to see. That's the tough thing on the switch is if he gets the ball down low, it's over. So Texas at Swain, Cody, neither one of those guys are going to defend the rim against him. He's a bigger, stronger guy. Good matchup here for Texas. Let's see.
Take it. Ooh, keep it alive. Good job. Oh, that's a good look. That was a good look.
Man, that's tough.
Keeping it alive, though. All right. Got to hold him.
All right. There you go. So if you ask Sean Miller before the game, would he take it? He would say absolutely. 39-35, you're in the ball game. You got a chance. Purdue, 3 of 12 from 3. They are up +5 rebounding the basketball. Both teams have 3 turnovers. Texas has 6 made threes, which is huge in this game to offset the rebound disadvantage and Purdue getting more point blanks in this game. But Matas 2 fouls, Clough 2 fouls. Only player with 2 fouls in this game is Matas. Again, Purdue is not a good ball pressure defensive team. Neither is Texas. So this is Sean Miller would have taken this. If you said Jordan Pope was going to be able to go 16 minutes and hit 3 threes, even though he can't guard anybody, he just said take all day long. Take.
Yep.
So they're right where they want to be. They want to have a chance to win it in the second half.
Okay. Jared, what did you say the over-under was for this matchup?
8.5 Purdue. Oh, the over-under was 147.5, which it's sitting on it right now. It's amazing.
I was about to say that's sitting right on that bad boy.
Sitting on the number.
Man, Vegas, I don't know how the hell do they do it, but they do it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a 39-35 deficit Texas faces at halftime against Purdue in the Sweet 16. While we all catch our breath and gather ourselves, let everybody get settled in for the second half. Let's thank our lead sponsor here tonight on this special this special Thursday night live stream here on the All Texas Football YouTube channel. Shout out to our friends over at Von Lane. If the airlines are at it again, I'm sure you've heard one of the big ones just moved to assigned seating. But here's the catch. If you buy their cheapest fare, you don't get a seat assignment until you check in. And if you want to pick your seat, it's going to be an extra $80 or even more. And they're charging for checked bags now, too. It just keeps adding up. But Von Lane is out here doing the opposite. No bag fees, no surprise charges, and especially right now, thank goodness, no TSA lines. You show up at a beautiful hotel terminal, walk on in minutes, settle into one of 22 oversized leather seats with complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, drinks, and hot towel service. On select departures, you can even get a complimentary meal. And the Wi-Fi, it's Starlink internet, so it actually works. Try saying that about the airline's Wi-Fi at 30,000 feet. Von Lane just added more departure times, too, between Houston and San Antonio and between Fort Worth and Austin, so it's easier than ever to fit a trip into your schedule. Von Lane serves Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. Visit vonlane.com and use the promo code OTF26, it's OTF26, to get $20 off your first trip. Von Lane, it's a private jet on wheels. And Jerry, let's give a shout out real quick to our friends over at Hayes City Store for sponsoring this live stream.
Rod Babers and Jeff Howe are going to be singing karaoke at Hayes City Store soon, I think. Have y'all been told that, or is that just me? There are very few restaurants that once you go to, you immediately know they're just special. Hayes City Store is one of those places for sure. It's scratch-made Texas comfort food. They've got their famous truck stop enchiladas, award-winning chicken fried steak, and homemade desserts. All of it's absolutely delicious. All of it is from scratch. There's also live music 6 nights a week with 50 beer taps, ice cold long necks, and tasty margaritas. There are 13 TVs alone in their ice house, perfect for game days. And they even have brunch served 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Sunday. Hayes City Store is dog friendly, and they have a tree net for kids. Join the folks out at Hayes City Store and bring your whole crew. For more information, check out the website at hayescitystoretx.com. Hayes City Store, what is it? It's uniquely Texas.
All right. Jerry, let's get to this question real quick from Buddy Powell, Chief Big Guy, because I asked this earlier. I think it's worth reiterating. So this is where Pope's injury will become an issue. It's always when it cools off and the adrenaline fades when you feel it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see in the second half. I mean, the good thing that we've seen from this game is they can hide him on defense enough. If they were playing Arkansas, he couldn't play in this game. It would just be too zoom, 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 and too many athletes. Yeah. And they'd be forcing him into bad situations with what his foot can actually do. Purdue, not super athletic, just super good. So that gives Pope a little better chance. I think it's the who they're playing that really gives him a chance. But to that point, it'll be interesting to see in the second half for Pope. But look, it's going to come down to pain tolerance for him. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. I'm sure they did a little something to help. But it's really going to come down to pain tolerance. And if they can, if Purdue can find a way to really attack him defensively.
Yeah, I'm sure they have lots of different ways to, keep the swelling down and try their best to, alleviate some of the pain. But no, you're right. For the most part, it'll be pain tolerance for them. Except when it does, when the adrenaline does wear off a little bit in halftime and things start to swell up on you, stiffen up, it'll be interesting to see if offensively he can still provide that same spark, because he's been, what is he, 3 of 6, 3 of 5 from 3-point, or 3 of 6, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. I mean, he's been an asset for him offensively. If he can still provide that spark offensively, that'll to me be the test for him, because like you said, they figured out schematically how they can move around defensively, but offensively, can he still give them what they need? Because right now the offense is pretty much, Swain is starting to heat up a little bit too, which is. That was actually a good sign for him that he found the rhythm in his game a little bit later on in the first half too.
Yeah. So people are asking about need Swain to play like he did in the SEC. Teams aren't going to let him do that. They're running doubles at him. So he's just got to keep making the right basketball play. If he's forcing bad shots, you'll look up and you'll be down 12. He's making the right basketball plays. Spencer said, should we run through Swain more? I think you got to be, I think a little bit with, I like what they're doing. It's just, can they get over the finish line? So that's kind of the way I look at it. I don't want Swain forcing bad shots. That's not going to be the winning formula. The winning formula is how he played against Gonzaga, how he played against BYU, is just to go out and make the right basketball play. And he just needs to continue to do that. And he had been making 1 out of every 3 threes. Maybe he knocks one down in the second half, but he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, to me. And the other thing is, neither team's getting to the free throw line. Let's see if that changes in the second half. Let's see if that changes in the second half. Texas, I can tell you what Texas has been doing, and I think people probably, even if they hadn't followed the team closely, they've been playing the first half to stay out of foul trouble, and so they can have more aggression in the second half and late in these games. And so Swain has one foul. Now he can need to pick up one early in the second half. He has 1 foul. Mark has 1 foul. Pope's not going to drive it, so that doesn't matter. But Texas wants to be in a position where they can be more aggressive with the ball in the second half of these games, and they're in that position again today. But I think the big thing is I think Tremont Mark is who Texas needs to play through more in this game until Purdue proves they're going to stop him. That's who I want to see them play through. I want Swain to just keep making the right basketball plays. Then it just comes down to are you going to beat? Can you beat Purdue or not? I mean, that's really what we're coming down here. 17 rebounds to 13 in the first half. Braden Smith 2 of 7. I mean, look, people. I know we always talk about our teams, but Braden Smith, Purdue fans are probably saying, "Hey, Braden, we need you to score more in this half, a little bit more." But let's see what Texas can do with Kaufman Wren. 6 of 6 from the field, 12 points, 5 rebounds.
My thing is, guys, the whole key to this deal could be, and I know it's going to be a bigger deal than this, but can you just get to that first media timeout of the second half without Modest picking up another foul?
Yeah.
That, make that be kind of your first landmark. And then, okay, can he get through the next, can you get to the 10-minute mark without him picking up another foul? And then you can play that last 8 to 10 minutes. If he's still got 3 fouls to give, you can probably feel pretty good about that.
Hey, by the way, y'all can ask football questions too. We're all here.
Especially at halftime. Actually, Ryan Nelson, Jerry Rod, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ryan Nelson asked, did you see Kurt Signetti rip transfer wide receiver Nick Marsh for wearing gold cleats to practice?
Yeah. I love that guy. Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that rant where he basically said I'm paraphrasing, but I think he basically said we dog cussed him enough. He got basically the coaches got on him enough that he learned his lesson about wearing. I don't know what kind of gold cleats they were. I know guys wear designer cleats now. That's a thing.
Yeah.
When you get to the league, I think you got to wear like Nike or whoever sponsors you. But guys wear. I think even some Texas players are probably wants to design the cleats at practice. I believe. I think the reason Kurt Signetti got on him probably is because he was being too much of an individual.
Yeah.
And not being, what I mean? Like you're a leader. You just came from, where'd he come from? Michigan State? Where did Morris come from?
Michigan State. Yeah.
Michigan State. I don't know how many games they won. They didn't win many, right? And I bet the message was simply, you see that Michigan State team? You was probably one of the best players on that team and a leader on that team. And if you were this much of an individual and about the way you look over about, the team and about, making sure that you sacrifice and commit to the cause, then no wonder you were a bad team. Here at Indiana or there at Indiana, they're all about the team. Hey, team first. All right. How can I help the team? Not about you. That's probably why they got on them. And I'm sure the message was received very well.
And that's the biggest challenge for Signetti now is, the building it, the success is one thing. It's the hardest thing. But then the second hardest thing is then the next group of guys come in, Rod.
Mm-hmm.
They saw it a lot different from the outside than the players saw it from the inside.
Yep.
And they're coming in making more money.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is when it gets more difficult for coaches in the NIL area, I believe. Nick Marsh probably making more than any wide receiver in Indiana did last year.
Probably so. Good point. Yeah.
And those guys were undefeated, and he was defeated at Michigan State. So, it's a different world he just stepped into, and it's a different world for Cignetti having won the title, and now these next group of guys come in just expecting it to happen.
It's a great point, Jerry. And the fact that if he is one of the highest paid guys on the team, no better time to dog cuss him for wearing gold cleats to practice.
Yeah.
So everybody knows he's the highest paid, but trust me, he gonna get it just like everybody else gonna get it. If you're a me first guy instead of a team first guy. So I bet he was waiting for a moment where he could, disseminate that message among the team, and that was the perfect opportunity to do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Tony Mattea has something I think is very important. If Texas could get, like I've said, the teams that are better in the NCAA tournament, it's been about the 12, 11, all the way to like the 8-minute mark when those teams extend on the lesser team. If Texas could get this thing the 6-minute mark and you're a couple of possessions, you're 4, you're 5 down, all the pressure goes to Purdue. And that doesn't mean they can't handle it. These guys have played in Final Fours, national championship game, deep in the tournament every year. But if Texas can get this, if they can have this at 4 or 5 points at like the 6-minute mark, the pressure goes to Purdue in that situation. So in this game. So I think that's kind of, if you watch these games, that's where it's kind of started to separate. Is, you can play those first 4, you get to that under 16 timeout, you're connected. Maybe a couple of buckets at the 12-minute mark. You're down 8, and then the next thing you look up and you're down 14. So I think my goal for Texas is to get it to about the 6-minute mark. If you're up, great, like they did against Gonzaga. If you're down 4 or 5, there's a lot of pressure on Purdue at that point. Those guys feel that internally. They feel that at the arena.
Quick baseball update. Texas and OU at the top of the hour got going. Big SEC series at Dish Falk. Ruger Riojas had to work around giving up a leadoff double. Inning-ending double play got him out of the first unscathed. So it's bottom of the first scoreless game at Dish Falk between Texas and OU. Don't really want to talk about the Houston game on Tuesday, but thankfully they only had one day to sit on it before getting back to it. Nathan asked Jerry, do you think Texas basketball NIL was over 10 million? Reports say Will Wade is getting 12.5 next year at LSU.
No, I do not. There was one report that Texas was 7.5. I said, I think that's a little low. The reports of 10.5, I said, I think are a little high. So just notch down and get in between those, I think is closest to reality. Where's LSU getting all the jack? I mean, because they're putting a ton into football and basketball now. They're trying to play for keeps. I do think Texas you have to be over 10, guys. Yeah, I agree with, I think it was Bruce Pearl said that, and an SEC assistant said that to a friend of mine that's in the college coaching world. They said, if you don't have 10 plus in the future in the SEC, you're not going to have a chance. So I do think that's the key number. Now, do you have to be 15? Where, probably Arkansas and maybe one other were, because Kentucky obviously was they had the worst $21 million roster of all time. No, but can you stay connected enough? Because the highest paid NIL roster is not always going to win. Yeah. It helps you. It gives you more margin for error, but it doesn't mean you're going to win at all or compete to get to the Final Four. Now, this year's been impacted by injuries more than any other NCAA tournament I've seen. Like some really high-paid dudes were out top, and Richie Saunders, BYU, Wilson, North Carolina. I mean, keep going. I mean, this tournament was crushed by injuries. What it really could have been, but I think in the future you got to be over 10. I think LSU set that number for him because they know that's the number you have to be in the area code for to compete with the rosters are going to be 15 to 20 million.
Yeah.
We've got a super chat, guys. Thank you, Jonah Williams enthusiast, for the super chat. Said, been moving back to California and haven't been around much. Thanks for staying consistent with the content. Want to shout out Relique Brown. Love to get them modern day kids. Jonah Williams enthusiast, we appreciate it. That's what we try to do here at OTF, to stay consistent with the content. Jerry, modern day is one of those Chris Jackson's a modern day guy. So, I mean, as long as Sark's the head coach at Texas will still continue to go to Southern California to try to get kids.
Yeah. I mean, Orange Lutheran is the other school that has a lot of guys right now. St. John Bosco will always have guys. Mater Dei, they kind of collect into about 4 schools down there right now in that Orange County, SoCal area. But Texas will always recruit those schools for sure. Are they going to get out? Is it going to be more spot recruiting in Cali? Yes. Hey, Rod, I wanted to ask you. So you probably you didn't hear this, I don't think. So I was by Hollywood MacArthur yesterday to see Jalen Jones, the stud safety nickel commit to Miami, who just visited Texas, and Texas is going to fight for a little bit, I think. Sark had an hour Zoom call. Sark and Muschamp with him and his coach earlier this week. But the coach is also – he's a really good dude. He's also has one of the top 7-on-7 programs because in the state of Florida, there's no rules, right? So you can be a high school head coach. You can also have 7-on-7. But on this Jalen Jones's 7-on-7 team was Derek Cooper and Jermaine Bishop. But because he coaches 7-on-7, he sees all these guys. Yeah, Raleek Brown, he saw him multiple times, right? He thought Raleek Brown was the quickest player that he saw at Texas because the head coach was with Jalen Jones last week at a practice before spring break. I think it was that Friday practice. He thought Raleek Brown laterally was the quickest player in the program. He said that, which I thought was interesting. The other interesting thing he said, Rod, was as good as Jermaine Bishop looks. He said he'll always maintain this, and some other people have too. He's even better at corner.
Man, he probably is, but I don't disagree with that actually. But he'd almost be wasted, I think, in a sense at corner, because at corner, once you become, I mean, think about how much action did Malik Muhammad get? And Malik Muhammad was a really good corner, but he wasn't like first team all SEC corner. He wasn't like first round caliber corner. Once you establish yourself as a really good corner, I can just avoid you.
Yeah.
I literally can just avoid, unless you're gonna do what Leonard Moore does. And by the way, not a bigger Leonard Moore fan in Austin, but probably than his parents and me.
Rod bought that stock early.
When he came, I remember the year I say he's the best defensive back in Central Texas. I haven't watched them all in Texas, but it can't be many better than him. And turns out I was right.
Yeah.
He shadows guys. They play so much man-to-man at Notre Dame, they'll just put him on a guy and let him shadow. He shadowed Mikal Lemon. They'll just put him on and let him shadow him whole damn game. Most corners in college football don't do that. Maybe LSU did some of that with Delane. And so I believe that Jermaine Bishop can be that good at corner. Like he can be like a legit ball hawking corner. But like I said, at corner, you can almost take a guy out of the game. Because you can't shut down half of the side of the field anymore, not in spread football.
Mm-hmm.
You can shut down a quarter of it, maybe 20% of it. You can't shut down half of the field. So I think it's to maximize that kind of ability, I would have put him on offense too. And I'm a DB, but I still would have put him on offense because I think at DB, once you're established, you're really good. Ask Malik Muhammad how many targets he got last year once he established himself as the best corner for Texas. Not much.
Hey, so I want to bring this up because we haven't talked about this. Antoine's always on the recruiting stuff. Did you guys discuss Raiden Cook getting offered today? We have not hit on that. It's on TexasFootball.com. He is a really raw defensive lineman out of Barbers Hill down by Baytown. He's committed to Houston, Kentucky, recently offered. He's a guy that Texas likes in that 105, those last spots that, hey, if he wants to be part of it, Texas could see that guy developing over a couple 3-year period and end up being a really good player. So Texas had been looking at him quietly as one of those possible guys that, hey, we could see him being a 105 guy. You don't know if he'd be interested in that necessarily because a U of H now, it's getting in the position where U of H will have to do some NIL things to keep him. So that's going to come down to a decision for a kid. Hey, you want to be the developmental guy in the SEC or do you want to go to U of H where it'll probably be a little more NIL friendly, but he's got a lot of upside. My friend at the game said Pope has not come out from the locker room yet, so they're probably doing everything they can to see if they can get him back in the game in the second half.
Stiffing, it's probably getting a little bit stiff on him, I imagine, at this point.
Yeah, they're probably working on him the whole time.
Hey Rod, I want to bring this up, Antoine, with another question because this is something we talked about. This kind of delves into football theory. And by the way, football theory not on the channel today. We moved it to tomorrow, just having to move some things around this week because of baseball and basketball watch along. So why didn't Texas let cornerbacks travel with other wide receiver ones? we've talked about it, Rod. Early under PK, they were a strictly like two almost rigid field and boundary defense.
Yep.
Started to get away from that a little bit, but I think that was more to do with PK just being a field and boundary defense as opposed to just letting the guy float with somebody's best receiver.
Yeah, if you want to, first of all, usually you play a lot of man-to-man if you're going to have guys shadow a guy, it means follow him around the field. And if you're not playing strictly man-to-man, then you have to have a lot of interchangeable pieces and essentially have all your DBs be comfortable playing any possible position in the secondary, because based on the formation and the motion and the shifting, they could get all your guys out of position. So your safeties have to be cool playing corner, and your corners have to be cool playing safety. That was the case, unless you're just playing man-to-man. And Texas only plays man-to-man last year, probably 17% of the time. And so, like I said, Notre Dame's probably around, they're probably half the time they're probably in man-to-man defense. So they play a ton. I think Texas will play more of it. And if you do have a guy shadow a player, a receiver around the field, it does give away your defense for the most part. Like you're letting the defense know, like, hey, they're in man-to-man. It's pretty obvious that they're in man-to-man coverage as well. And it makes life easier on the quarterback too. So.
All right. So we got to miss on a little action there for Lloyd to start the second half. Tremont Mark comes back and hits a three. So we're at 39-38. Swain cleared the board, his fifth of the game. Got an assist there as well. So 39-38. They missed their first three. Texas has 7 made threes right now. Purdue 3.
I like Swain closing out on that, getting a hand in Lawrence's face without committing a foul. To Jerry's point earlier, in case you guys missed it, Jerry's tidbit about Jordan Pope coming out of the locker room a little bit later. Everybody, he is on the floor to start the second half.
So they call a foul on Heidi here. They had their arms wrapped up with each other. So Swain's just got to keep making the correct basketball plays. You see how defense is going to collapse on him. Kaufman-Wren took a step you can't take in that situation. That foul they called on Heidi there, they're going to talk this over. Let's see. They both had arm bars. They were locked in the arms. By the way, in the other game, Nebraska 46, Iowa 43 at half, there is another game going on. They're battling for all the corn in America.
Come on. Oh, here it is. I know. Depends on how they
That's
call
a very veteran move by Kaufman-Wren. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he grabbed him, right? He's like, come on with me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very veteran move by Kaufman-Wren.
I didn't want to call that double foul here. What we got?
I sure would, just for the game. Obviously a big game. I sure would like to see Heidi hit a couple of threes against Purdue.
All right, quick baseball.
It's tough playing your old team where some of your best friends in life are.
Got a quick baseball update from Dish Park, Texas. Grabs the early lead 1-0. We had an Adrian Rodriguez RBI double to right center that scores Aiden Robbins. So Texas up early on OU 1-0.
All right, guys, come on. How long does it take? Let's go.
They're watching on Texas.
Right. I mean, come on.
They're catching up on Texas cornerback play right now.
Either that or they're following the Big 12 football officials' method for reviewing something, which is take as long as humanly possible to check
and
it
still
out.
Get it wrong, possibly. Yeah.
Screw it up. I'll change that to most likely, Rod. Most likely.
So Kaufman-Wren made the move to pull down. Now, he obviously made the move to pull down, trying to get the call there.
Then, come on.
Buddy Pell Chief, big guy. That's mostly targeting in the Big 12.
Come on. Any day now, guys.
Dustin D7, that sounds like a personal problem. You got 4 streams going, but I'm glad you're with us.
Hopefully, Dustin, your streams are strong and
see Heidi's arm was in no position to pull anybody down or push anybody down. His arm was above the shoulder of Wren. He had no leverage to push Wren to the ground.
Basket.
So he wasn't balanced. His feet weren't underneath him enough.
Basket 2107 points out Jonah Williams in the dugout in a sling. That was going to be the plan post shoulder surgery for Jonah. Basically, spend as much time with football as he can. But Schloss said he was more than welcome to be in the dugout for games. But with the injury, there's really nothing he can do, and he'd be better off spending his time with the football team. So I believe that's going to be the only time he's with baseball is in the dugout for home games.
Come on, guys.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
What are we doing? Like, seriously, what's happening? Like, it wasn't that tough of a call. Just make a call.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Wren grabbed the pull down. So what are we talking about here? I hope we did all this for a reason.
So we've got a double foul, Jerry. So
that's what double foul. I said double foul with the first 2 minutes of that damn review.
It's going to be a change of possession Texas ball.
Oh man, brutal. Is it?
Well, that's what
I
thought it said.
Is it a flagrant? What we got?
Okay. So I guess it was Purdue ball. Okay. I don't know how that happened, but
all right, getting to attack mode here, Mark.
Nice.
Favorable matchup. Matas cannot get a third foul on a screen. That I can tell you. Great move by Swain. Great move. Fletcher Loyer literally has zero chance off the deck. Zero. Purdue needs to switch that up.
Swain's starting to feel it. That's what. Perfect.
And then Smith comes back and hits one. Those guys they're probably gonna shoot it a little, make more shots second. But again, Swain needs to keep making the right plays here.
Yeah, Jerry, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, certainly, and I've got mine. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting tired of defending Dalen Swain as a basketball player. I mean, the guy's basically an 18-point a game scorer in the SEC, the SEC newcomer of the year.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's being mocked in the first round, and it's not just because.
And there's a reason why teams are doubling him. There's a reason why teams are going to double him.
But Tremont Mark feeling now 17 points on 9 shooting for Tremont Mark.
Yeah, Mark and Swinburne came to play.
By the way, I believe, Jerry, this is college game number 172 for Tremont Mark.
Kaufman Wren just tried to flop again. See, Kaufman Wren is like really a tough matchup for Texas when the ball's on the rim because he'll just look at his lower body. He is so look at that flop. That's such BS, man. Get out of here. But he is so strong in his base when it comes time to offensive rebound. Once he gets any position, he is hard to move. His feet are like concrete, pushed into the ground because he is so strong. Look at him in his hips and his thighs. He's just a strong guy. He doesn't have the normal basketball build.
He flops like Draymond Green now. He's got that down.
See, I mean, Nick Cody just pushed him with two hands in the back. I mean, they're going to call the foul every time. Like, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't have two hands in the back. This isn't the NBA in the 80s.
I didn't want
to call that every time.
Didn't want the first media timeout. Hey, so we've come to the end of the first inning, guys, at Dish Falk, Texas, with a 4-0 lead over Oklahoma.
Come on.
Great play.
Nice.
Great play by Swain.
Great job.
5-3 numbers.
Hey, Swain and Mark, baby. It's coming to Swain and Mark show in the second half. They're going back and forth. Hell of a play. Look at this hustle.
For those interested, all Texas runs in the bottom of the first came with 2 outs. You got an Adrian Rodriguez RBI double, RBI single by Tema Becerra, and then a 2-run single by Casey Borba, who's red freaking hot right now at the plate.
Come on. Got to make that.
Jerry, sorry, I won't try to bore you too much with the baseball updates.
No, you're good. No, it's a huge series, man. This is hate weekend in Austin.
Exactly. The baseball team playing the Sooners and the softball team hosting the Aggies.
All right.
Great dish by Braden Smith.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Look, they're going to run the ball screen game going right. He's a right-handed dominant player. But the crazy thing about his right-hand dominance, his peripheral to the backside, he's like a running back that sees the backside, Rod. He's got tremendous peripheral going right. He's just got good peripheral at all in all. It's a good move by Swain. Here we go. Nice. The herky jerky.
Ooh, okay.
That's Clough's third.
3 now on Clough.
Man.
Yep,
Jerry, feel it though.
Jerry, to your point about Braden Smith, I think Sean Miller said it best. Look, if you know nothing else about Braden Smith, the fact that he broke Bobby Hurley's career assist record in Division I college basketball should probably tell you all you need to know about the guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's just – and look, the crazy thing is this is where Painter's done such a great job because, Braden Smith had one Division I offer, Purdue. Fletcher Lawyer, not really highly recruited. Kaufman Wren, there aren't like super highly good offensive rebound. Dang it. There aren't a ton of highly recruited players on this team. Florida, it's Matas's third, man. That's big. That's big. That's big. Florida won the national championship without a McDonald's All-American last year. That is extremely rare. That's a tough call. Kaufman Wren's a veteran. See how he grabbed Matas's arm?
With the elbow?
Yeah. Kaufman Wren is a wily old veteran college basketball player.
I feel like he's some Draymond Green in his game where he's constantly doing stuff like that, either to annoy people or to initiate contact.
By the way, this is a big call when Sean Miller is appealing this.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because you lose a timeout on this to try to keep Matas from getting his third 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the second half.
Matas does put the hand up like, dude, I'm trying to let him go. He won't. He's got me. Look at put his hands up. I'm trying to let him go. Might be too little too late, though. I'm not sure. I'm telling you how long this call gonna take. Might as well take a restroom.
Alan McKay says they're trying to foul out Matas. Absolutely, everybody does it. Look, that's the one thing about Matas. If you want to know what college coaches' opinions of him are, everybody tries to get him out of the game. That tells you a lot. One, and I can tell you there's some big time schools trying to come after him to get him to go in the portal, but I don't think it's going to happen. Thing about Matas, too, this is his first year in big boy basketball, high major basketball. Once he has an off season, he adds that next move, that next pump fake, right? He adds that pump fake to his game, that next move to get guys off their feet to where he doesn't force through contact quite as much. He continues to build a stroke to his game, which is years off, years in his future when he'll maximize that. You can start to see what a problem he's going to be in college basketball next year. He's unsuccessful. So Matas has his third, so he'll have to sit for a while. So this is when Mark Swain, Nick Cody's going to have to step up. And this is a bad matchup. That's just too easy. You can't defend that. If you can't hold your position, this was Texas' concern. If you can't hold your position against him, it's game over. He's going to make that shot off the glass every single time. He's 7 of 7 from the field.
Jerry, one of the things I appreciate about Modest in the press conference yesterday, he was asked about NBA players he models his game after.
No.
What happened? What happened to Mark here? Came down on a foot.
It looks like he came down
on the foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the 3, he came down on it.
Jeez, that's
He's walking it off. He's gonna walk it off. He's trying to walk it off.
he's gonna get 3 free
Sounds
throws.
like 3 free throws and an ankle roll. Here's one thing I don't understand about. Yeah, that's a bad one. That one hurts. They have. I don't know what people know about the ankle braces now, but they have. He's really hurting. They have what's called a better guard type of ankle brace, and it has almost a seat belt to it, and it reacts on that when they feel the tension of the ankle roll. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's what a lot of the NBA guys are wearing.
Interesting.
If I'm a young basketball player, if you have a young basketball player, they're expensive, and he's a real player. Look up Better Guard. I think they're amazing.
So like when
it serves as a seat belt, and it tightens.
I got you. It's like soon as you try.
So you'll have a grade 1 instead of a grade 2 or 3. So it saves your butt, is what it saves. It saves your ankle. It's a great invention by a guy in Germany. Really good.
2,000 career points. Wow.
God, this game is – never mind. I'm not saying it.
Oh, yeah, Mark is moving gingerly a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he is not moving well.
No. This game – it's like –
oh, man, he can barely walk on it.
This game reminds me of the Elite Eight game when then Serge Rice got hurt, right? Big 3 from Heidi. Everybody kept going down in that game, Jeff. Remember when Serge Rice was on fire and he got dead legged? Yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
Am I misremembering, Jerry? Didn't Tyrese Hunter get banged up in that game too, maybe?
Mentally. No.
See, I just put it on the tee and hand you the driver. And let you do the rest.
Oh, man.
Jerry's all-time favorite Longhorn, Tyrese Hunter, by the way.
One of the only guys that can go for 20 plus and then 0. And then have 4 turnovers on inbound passes in an NCAA tournament game, and another 50-50 ball happened to go Texas' way. He should have had 5. Never seen it before in my life, ever. Never seen somebody turn it over 5 times as the inbound passer. So he got 4. 1 got saved because it bounced Texas' way off a Tennessee player's hand. Most incredible bad way things I've seen.
Yeah. Feast or famine. All or nothing.
Speaking of guys from that Elite Eight team, Jerry, Dylan Mitchell playing with St. John's tomorrow against Duke.
Yeah.
I haven't talked much about that one.
He's a perfect fit. He's a perfect fit for Pitino.
Yeah.
Like a perfect fit. Defensively, he has that switchability. He can guard multiple spots. He's a pressure defensive guy. Pitino's not going to put him in a position where he even has to think about scoring. Yes. Ultimately, he is still in college. Crazy. So Dark Vader, this is a great question. Dark Vader says, how does a player not shoot 80% from the free throw line? I say this all the time I bring up this stuff all the time on TexasFootball.com or in these discussions. I think and I'm not taking a shot, I'm just saying in general, there's a thing that, everybody should just make all their free throws. There wasn't a team in college basketball that shot 80% from the line this year. Not a team. I know people think it's just easy. They're not pros. It's not a roster of 12 NBA guys who all shoot the ball well. This is still college basketball. Texas was in the middle of the pack of the Sweet 16 teams in free throw shooting. They were 75.2. They may have even been a notch above. There's quite a few teams that were below Texas in free throw shooting this year. So I know people that only watch Texas and are in the Texas bubble say, oh, this team's terrible from the free throw line. Why don't they make free throws? They need to be 7 of 10 in this game. They need to be 5 of 10. But as a whole on the season, just go look at the stats in college basketball. Nobody shot it.
To your point, Jerry, Harvard leads the nation, leads Division I. They're at 79.9, so they're like almost right at 80%.
I in the NCAA tournament, so they had to get Mark out. This is just brutal. I mean, he's having a game too. But again, it's the same thing as the 3-point line. People are all Texas fans that only look in the bubble of the Texas game say, well, Texas can't shoot the ball. And I've been saying all year, guys, Texas has a better 3-point percentage than Duke. I mean, like, Texas isn't bad shooting the ball. I think there's the expectation of you should shoot 40% from three and 80% from the line, but that's not reality in college basketball. It's just not. If you're in the 35 to 37% range from three, you're actually pretty good from three. If you're in 75, 76 from the free throw line, 77, you're pretty good. That was a bad turnover kickball. That's the unforced. You're actually pretty good in college basketball. Just to point that out.
Easy basket.
Rod, I think you mentioned that Texas is right in the middle of the pack of the Sweet 16 teams. They're just percentage points behind Michigan for the 8th best free throw percentage of the teams left in the tournament.
Come on.
101.
Got a couple of bad turnovers here.
Come on. That's brutal. Both by Swain, too, right? Ooh.
Yeah. But Jason Watts says the better question is how many games are lost to poor free throw shooting. You mean in America? A lot. That's kind of my point. If you only look at one team, you're saying, oh, we lost 2 or 3 games to the poor free throw shooting. So did everybody else. That's kind of my point. It's like, and Texas does work. Everybody emphasizes it. But it's like, if you only look at your team, you're like, oh my gosh, we lost 2 or 3 games to the bad free throw shooting. Go look around college basketball. So does everybody else. It's like, Duke's not a great free throw shooting team. Like, it's kind of is what it is. You would love for these guys to shoot 40% from three and 80% from the line. But the reality is it just doesn't happen very often in college basketball. Jay Wright had a couple of teams that were there. Baylor's team that won the national championship was like a tremendous 3-point shooting team. They're like 41-1 or something crazy like that. But your last 3 national champions in college basketball all shot between 35 and 37 from three. None of them shot 80% from the free throw line. So it's not like it's just a Texas team. It's an everybody.
Jerry, you mentioned this earlier with Dalen Swain, Purdue throwing doubles at him. It's probably going to be easier for them to do that now, given the lineup on the floor. You got Jordan Pope with one leg, Swain, Weaver, Heidi, and Cody on the floor right now.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Elite Eight game against Miami when you just banged up. Let's see what happens.
Not good.
Well, credit Jordan Pope out, man.
Thank as a 2 line. Thank goodness Purdue's not good on defense, not laterally quick on defense. Mark's going to try to come back in.
They need to go back and look at the pot. I don't know if Pope's toe was on the line. They may change that back to a 3.
Yeah, I thought when he jumped, I thought he landed on the line, but I thought he jumped before. Ooh.
Texas Johnson look at 4th on it.
They went back and forth.
Tremont Mark is at the scorer's table, getting ready to check back in at the next dead ball.
That's crazy. He couldn't even walk when he got taken out.
See, Pope, that's the one thing. He's not able to rise up there like he normally can. Go attack, Kendall. Good kick. Oh,
it's a good look.
Oh, he's short on that. Oh, come on, Kendall. That was an uncontested. They weren't even going to foul him. They weren't going to foul him.
2 good looks. 2 good.
Yeah,
looks.
that left toe was on the line. That was a good call.
Yeah. Man.
Matas back in at the 13-minute mark with 3. Notable. Looks like Swain's going to have to go 40 minutes tonight. See what he has in the tank.
I'm going to see how Mark's moving out there. He's still kind of limping around. He's still moving pretty gingerly.
Good post-entry pass and one. Great pass by Wilcher.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. And why'd he put him back in? He's a problem.
Jerry, they've gotten this team's had a reckoning with that high-low pass in the postseason. They've been much better at it.
Much better. It was scary early in the season and midway through the season. That was a scary pass. Anytime Nick Cody raised up to make that pass when he was in the game, I was very worried.
Was the pucker factor kicking in pretty fierce at that point, Jerry?
That's 4.
Wow. Come on, man.
That's an inexperience.
Hey, you see, Montas like he's doing the move on me, man. He's giving them elbows every time. It's like he's a vet. I'm telling you, he's savvy, dude. Them dudes are savvy. At 45, watch him put the. Oh yeah.
That's a bad foul. Now Matas he's got questionable on him. That was a bad foul by Matas. You just can't do it. This guy's not gonna beat you. You cannot make that foul right there.
Oh, is that a violation? Oh, nope.
Oh, Pope did it. That was a 3.
Yeah, I thought he raised up before and landed on the line. But too late now.
Rocky Ford said Purdue is flopping. They are.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing is they're working the arm bars to perfection on guy. They're old man it up in the paint and on cat. They are getting in those. They are getting in the locked arm position.
They do,
and using it to create fouls, even though they're oftentimes creating it.
They're doing good at initiating contact. That's for damn sure. Oh, nice shot. Man. Was out there on one leg.
That's 21 now for Mark.
That's he is talk about toughing it out, man. That's a lot of heart.
This is like people say, "Oh,
he's just too strong down low."
Yeah, I mean, this is the game. This is the one game you could use Lucina, just defensively. Oh gosh, man, why are we short arm too?
Oh, come on,
Texas, you got to stay in it. Stay in it. Get it to the 4-minute timeout with everybody's game.
Need to stop. Whew, that's nice roll. Got to keep battling.
6-0 run by Purdue right here.
Wilcher way too soft on that pass. Way too soft on that pass.
Wow. All right, they need to answer. It's time. A lot of momentum for Purdue right now.
Dude.
Swain feels like he's got to do it.
This may be the Tremont Mark game.
Wow. This young man. He's got the clutch gene. He know it, don't he? He's definitely got that gene, dude. When this game's on the line, game's close, dude's got it. Some people got it. Some people don't. He's got it.
That ball was on the rim. That ball was on the rim. He tried to hold off, but it was on the rim.
They call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He tried to not do it, but it's just bad timing.
All right. So you got to we're at the under 12 media timeout, 10:20 to go in the half, 58 all. For those of you just joining us, Modest tied us with 4 fouls. That is huge for Texas. Look at the foul trouble situation for Texas real quick. You've got Modest with 4, Heidi and Cody with 2 each. So nobody else has more than 1. So, man, But Rod Mott is picking up 4 fouls. Like I was hoping he would get to. I was hoping he'd get to at least this point in the game was still 3, but at least with 3. But the fact that he's got 4 now, you're really up against it.
Because you put him in when what it was like? Was it 51 all when you put him back in? I think it was tied 51 all.
Yeah,
I wondered at the time if you put him in a little bit too early. Because what was it, 13 something? I almost wondered if you could have left him out of it because he got that 3-point play and then immediately the next
13:09 he came back into the 13:09 mark.
13:09 comes in, I believe when he comes in gets the 3-point play and then the next series down on defense ends up getting the foul somewhere around there. So I almost wondered, but I mean obviously, I'm sure that coach had a reason for it, but I almost wondered if you put him in just a slightly bit too early. Because I'm with you. I'd love him to have that third foul with 10 minutes left, and then you can put him out there and let him be really aggressive. But that ain't happening.
Yeah, you've got, Jerry mentioned earlier, this is one of those games where you'd love to have Lucina Traore just to have another big body that you can throw at Purdue. If nothing else, just to take up space and maybe absorb some fouls. But you don't have that. And, obviously Nick Cody just physically against a guy like Kaufman-Renn is, let alone Clough, is going to struggle. So you're up against it. And now the fact that you've got Jordan Pope and Tremont Mark both gutting it out on one good leg, both of them.
Balling. They're balling, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of an effort by both those guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Tremont Mark, win or lose, it should go down as one of the gutsiest performances that we've seen from a Longhorn athlete in the postseason in some time. I mean, was he 9 of 11? Is that 9 of 11? Yeah. That's fantastic.
Kelly Hill with the super chat. Kelly, thank you for the super chat. Says, "I'm here, gentlemen. Better late than never." Just
there you go.
Happy to have Kelly and everybody else in the chat. It's lively right now, so it is appreciated. Thanks everybody.
Jeff, this so reminds you of the Miami game when Serge Ibaka was hobbling around early in the game, and then Marcus Carr started cramping, maybe got kicked in the leg.
That's what I was thinking about
and he was limping around the last few minutes. Hopefully it's a different outcome for everybody, but it just so reminds you that, because I was thinking, when's the last time I saw 2 guards limping around the court for Texas? Well, that was it. It was in the Elite 8 game against Miami.
Yeah.
Gene
Katie looking like he still wants to scream at somebody for not getting over the top of a ball screen. By the way.
Flashbacks.
Jerry, I'll be 100% honest. I didn't know Gene Katie was still with us.
Yeah.
Oh, see? Now you just cursed the man.
Sorry, Purdue fans. I probably just.
Now, if something happens to him in the next week, Jeff, I'm blaming you.
Gene Katie ends up unalived, I'll take 100% blame for it. Yes, Sam, man. # for Craig always. So we're always.
Oh, that was a desperation one right there.
Yeah, we ran a lot of action for a guy that's limping on the court to get that shot.
Yep.
Brandon says Gene Katie is never looking better. Okay.
That's a push. That was a push. Clough pushed Mark in the middle of the back. That should have been a call. They got that offensive rebound. Clough got away with one. Rewind that when you have a chance.
No question.
That should have been called.
I was like, they got some savvy veteran moves though. Will you admit that? Defensively and offensively?
100%, Rod. No, this team's played a lot of big games and a lot of ball and a lot of pressure situations. And Matt Painter's a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
26 now for Tremont Mark.
I'm telling you, man, this dude is a historic performance by this guy. He's in the zone, man. He's in the zone.
That's what you don't want right there. Those are the ones that kill you. Offensive rebound, kick out threes. That's how the game started for Purdue.
He wants a 4-point play. Dude, complain. Man. Tremont Mark. I gotta tell you, it's crazy that he looks now. He doesn't look like he's limping as much. The more shots he hits, the less he limps. Come on, guys, move around.
Good patience by Swain on that play.
Nice.
They're going to double him every time.
So he's just waiting for the double team now to see who he can kick it to. Yeah.
He's gassed. He made a couple of bad turnovers. He's going to have to play 40 minutes chasing on defense and then being a playmaker, and that is not easy.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. He looks gassed to me, but he's still doing enough, making the right plays. Great drive.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we talk about this is what we say about Swain every game, and you look up and he's got 10.7 rebounds and 5 assists. I mean, he's doing his job. That was a good play from behind.
He was scoreless most of the first half. Oh,
Braden Smith hit the camera.
Oh,
did his head bang the camera? He'll be all right. But he smoked the camera, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, I think he was grabbing his head. It looked like maybe Mark got him.
Oh, he got hit. Okay.
Man, Mark's still limping out there.
Okay.
Oh,
I saw him come right into the camera. I didn't know if he hit his head.
Yeah. Mark got him on the head.
Yeah, Mark's forearm got him. All right, 65-63. Texas with the lead. We're at the under 8 timeout. Jerry, if you're Sean Miller, when do you put Modest back on the floor?
Wait.
3 minutes.
I was gonna say wait under 5 for sure.
As long as the game's like it's going right now, I'm leaving him on the bench. I might even wait the 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a one possession game, I'm not bringing him in, because here's the danger if you bring him in too early. This could right now, and anything can happen. Right now, you could see this game going in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, so if this game is staying within a possession, one way or the other, I'm leaving him out as long as possible.
Yep, I agree with that. Yep, might have brought him in too early last time. I'll leave him out.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a crazy thing about basketball. Think about how things even out. So if I told you coming into the game that Texas would have the same 3-point percentage as free throw percentage, what would you have said? So here's the kicker. So Texas has missed. Texas, you would ideally like to be 8 of 11 from the line right now. Okay. But in a normal game, Texas doesn't have 10 made threes. It's amazing how some of this stuff evens out. So people say, oh, I wish Texas would make more free throws. How many games has Texas made 10 threes this season in a game? So it's always interesting to look at how things even out. Who would have thought coming into this game, Texas would be 10 of 22 from 3, and Purdue would be 4-17, and the only guy that's made one is Fletcher Lawyer so far. Nobody would have taken that bet. So it's interesting how Texas has gotten the rebounds because they've had team rebounds. Cam Heide, Swain, Mark has 3. Team rebounding is now 2 rebounds more than Purdue. Assists, 11 and 10. I mean, your turnovers, Texas had the 2, Swain had the 2 unforced that got Texas to 7. Otherwise, you're sitting there at 5-4. But Texas playing a solid basketball game considering what their injuries are.
By the way, gentlemen, Texas now up 6-0 on Oklahoma, bottom third. 2-run double for Casey Borba, 2 for 2 tonight with 4 ribbies. Borba's been red hot at the plate lately.
Mm-hmm.
So
anytime
you beat OU in anything, right? You're beating OU in anything. It's a
damn right. Hell yeah, it is 7:57, and OU still sucks.
Thank you, sir.
Silver Spurs, Sicko, Purdue are foul baiters for 2 seed. They are foul baiters. I think they are definitely well coached and well schooled. They look like they're going to the ground when they're creating their own force to the ground as well as you can. I mean, it looks like LeBron. Everybody's LeBroning it out there is what it looks like.
Yeah, getting the call. They're getting the calls.
Jerry Ryan Nelson says the only thing Jerry likes more than Mayo on corn dogs is college basketball. Where on that scale, Jerry? Where Mayo corn dogs and college basketball line up?
College basketball is one. It's such oh gosh, didn't control the rebound, and now it's a kick out 3. Good.
Oh, come on.
College basketball. Look, everybody knows I was a basketball player. Dad was a football coach. But the thing about college basketball is, and I've said this, is if you've never been to an NCAA tournament, it's just the most unbelievable college sporting event. It's hard to explain how awesome it is to be in the arena. Great play by Swain. To be in the arena when games like get tight down the wire like this, the game of runs, some of these guys are never going to play competitive basketball again. This crowds are like, people are crying before games are over. Then the different fan base may be crying at the end of the game because some late run. It's just, there's nothing like the NCAA tournament because there's 4 fan bases in there, and it's just, that's a good foul by Heidi. But there's 4 fan bases in the arena, and the lower seed, if they start going on a run, the whole arena gets behind them. That's not like the Texas Purdue. The other 2 teams, they're normally get behind the underdog, and it's just like nothing you can imagine from a sporting event standpoint. And I was very lucky when Texas lost in the Sweet 16, when TJ was a freshman and Roy, James Thomas, all those guys were sophomores. And they lost up in the Kohl Center to Oregon on the last second shot. And then Illinois and Kansas was after that. I mean, I'd been to the NCAA tournament before, but that one really cemented my love for college basketball because it was just like nothing I'd been to in a college sporting event. All right, so here we are. We're limping around. We're up 1 with 6 minutes to go. You couldn't ask for more. You got a chance to win the ball game.
Right where you want to be.
I'm with you, Jerry. I've been fortunate enough to be to a couple of sites. I was with Texas and Milwaukee Chris Beard's first year. Then I was in Des Moines and Kansas City that Elite 8 years. So it's pretty awesome stuff. It's one of those bucket list things. If you're a basketball fan, you should just do it. Just pick you a site and go.
See, that's where Pope's foot injury isn't tough. Pope would normally get a shot off there, but that's where his injury is a big deal for him.
Mm-hmm. I like that tap out by Nick Cody.
Yeah. Great hustle by Heidi. They're going to call foul. Is that Heidi's 4th?
4 on Cam Heidi. Yep.
That's all right. He's a junkyard dog. Can't afford him.
Yeah, it's probably
Purdue in the double bonus now.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort, but just probably didn't need that.
Purdue's got a foul to give, by the way. 6 minutes. Freddie Johnson says 6 minutes. That's right. We're at 6 minutes. Matas coming back in right now. Yeah. Sean Miller must thinks it's
he must think this is a crucial period. They can pull away or something because I would leave them out a little longer.
you know how hard college basketball actually is. Omar Mayer, the guy at the line, he was one of the top few 18-year-olds playing overseas, and it was talked about how much promise he has. He still got it, but he's had a rough go of it at times in college basketball. And he was a guy that was playing professionally. And people were saying, oh, he's going to be a one and done. He's going to come over here. He's going to end up in the NBA. He looks like a 3 or 4 year guy right now. We'll see about how big of a jump he makes year 2. But this stuff is not easy.
Now, Jerry,
Matas has got to get out of the paint, man. They call the foul and club just in time.
Sean Miller kind of rolling the dice the way Mark Few did in that round of 32 game when Graham Ike had picked up his 4th foul pretty early. And then I think about this time, about 6-7 minutes left in the game, just put him in, just roll the dice and put him in. He never picked up that 5th, but
yeah. So 5:38, 1-point game. Both bigs have 4 fouls. Obviously, Purdue lives without Clough much better than Texas does without Matas.
What?
Coach Box warning in a Sweet 16 game.
Wow. That is.
And you know how pissed? You know why Sean Miller's pissed? Because Matas had a guard on his back. They had a favorable matchup through switches, and they stopped the play to give a box warning. What the hell?
That's incredibly unfortunate because Sean's been in that territory all year, and I think that's the first time, Jerry, it's been called all year.
Yeah, I mean that one Texas had him in the switches. They had him in some favorable switches. That's unbelievable.
Honest truth, I wouldn't say Lucina Traore came back to bite Texas in this one. It's just you'd love to just have the extra body just to.
This is the one game. This is the one, yeah. Oh man, Tremont Mark. Geez, I mean, just what are we doing here?
29-5, fifth three of the game. Tremont Mark.
Are you kidding me? This dude, I'm telling you, man, historic, legendary performance by this dude, man. Like he's still limping around.
Yep.
He's on one leg out there.
Get out. Get the rebound. There you go. Oh, they call it man on Heidi's is fifth. Hey, Kaufman Wren needs to be invited to the Oscars and handed the award.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of Draymond Green in his game. A lot of Draymond Green. He's a better offensive version of Draymond Green.
I mean, that they need. Are they going to show us a replay of this?
That Mark shot is crazy. That was
he did nothing. What? Let's see. He's getting hammered. Hold on. Where is it? It's just
maybe. Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. He fouled out on that.
Once he gets your arm locked, he's gonna pull you around and make it look like a foul. He does it every time. It's pretty good. Hey, it's a skill, man. Y'all can't say it ain't a skill.
No, he's beating Texas at the nuances.
Yep.
Inside 12 feet.
It's like he knows. It's like they got a scouting report on the officials and the officials' tendencies and what they like to call. Because look at it. He like jumped. That was a Draymond Green move. He jumped in the air and just fell.
Yeah.
It looks like a foul, but it ain't a foul. It's a beautiful thing. So said Trill Lambier. Well done, Keith. Steve sarcasm. I like that.
All right. We're at 4:39, the 4:39 mark of the second half. Texas up to 70-68. Modest on the floor of 4 fouls. Cody and Mark with 2 each.
I mean, this dude can't be stopped. So it was a bad shot, but he had this
bad shot.
It was heat check. He was like, "Am I that hot? Am I just gonna hit everything?"
Yeah. Here's the ball screen action. They're gonna look for. Yeah.
Come on.
So
that's Dalen Swain's second.
That was a great move by Smith. I mean, he gave him 3 up and unders.
Really did.
One's going to get you off your feet because nobody thinks you're going for 3.
Yep.
Veteran player, good player. Boom. Kept the pivot. Boom. Yeah, that's tough. That's a good play by Smith. Sometimes you just give the other guy credit. It's a good play.
They play like a bunch of savvy old vets, man. They just they really do as a team.
ACV, like he says, Jerry's going to eat crow in the morning. What did I say? I said, Purdue's the better team. Are they going to be better Thursday night? That's all that matters.
Man, Texas showing a lot of heart. I got to tell you, considering the injuries and the fouls and everything, a lot of heart.
Nebraska
3 70-0.
Nebraska up 3, 62-59 on Iowa, and the winner gets all the corn in the Midwest game.
All right, tied up, baby. 70-0 with 4:15. I mean, this is clutch time. This is it. It's clutch time, baby.
Brandon, I wouldn't say Swain's had a terrible game.
Who said that? Brandon, come on now.
I would not say that.
Swain's got 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he's getting doubled all the time. He's guarding Braden Smith.
All right.
Swain has more on his plate. He has as much on his plate as any player in Texas in college basketball. I think people are missing that. So you ask the 6'8" wing to be your playmaker. You ask him, he leads the team in 5 categories. He leads your team in scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals. Okay, like how much more do you want a guy to do? I mean, he's 5 of 10 from the field. He's got 7 rebounds. He's got 5 assists. I mean, he has 2 bad turnovers in this game. But if that's a bad game, I'll take it. He's being asked to run the team.
Yeah.
You know things are going well in the baseball game when I look up and you've got a Gumbo Duplantier RBI double, make it 7-0 Texas over OU bottom 3.
Nice.
So, Rod, to your point, the heart, the fight, the grit, whatever you want to call it, Texas has shown. It's a 70-all game. You've hit the last media timeout. Cam Heidi's fouled out. You've got Modest on the floor with 4 fouls.
Mhm.
Jordan Pope and Tremont Mark are both playing on one leg. You got Swain fighting through double team. Like it's
Yeah.
Swain playing 40 minutes tonight, being the playmaker and guarding on the perimeter for 40 minutes, Jeff. But yeah, it's we're coming down to it.
just
I mean, at this point, I kind of agree with Jerry. This, as a coach, obviously, you don't know how it's going to look. But if somebody asks you 70 all, 3:56 left in the game, you probably take it. I mean, you're an 8-point underdog, I believe. So 70 all. I mean, and you got clutch players. You got guys who've been clutch. I know Mark is on one leg, and so is Pope. But I mean, those guys have still been coming up clutch for you, even on one leg. So I feel good about where Texas is right now. Man, you couldn't have asked for a better situation, tied up with 3:56 left.
Silver Spurs Sicko. I'm going to take the all caps as you being irate about the Purdue alleged flopping situation.
Oh, they've been doing it all night, though. They've been doing it well, honestly. They've been doing it well.
So Horns 3 Truth says, will Swain 100% enter draft? If he gets a guarantee first round, yes. As he should.
He has to.
But you have to in that scenario. But the interesting thing with anybody, I think there's like 8 to 10 guys for like 4 spots at the end of the first round. And this is an unbelievable draft. If he was a year ahead, if this was his junior year last year, he'd be gone. He'd be picked about 22, 23. It'd be over right now. But because this draft is a hellaciously deep first round, they got great players at the top. Texas has played against most of them. Then you have unbelievable depth. This is a lot of people think this is going to be one of the best drafts in recent memory. If you don't have a guarantee, if you don't get a guarantee, then you have an interesting decision to make because, I mean, he can be a $3 million NIL guy in that area code, right? And then the next draft is not seen as deep as this draft. So Matas missed one and you got to make the first. You got to make at least one. So Swain, the next draft is not going to be as deep in the first round as this draft. So if you get a first round guarantee, you go. If not, it becomes a 50-50 decision.
Yep, and go with Shimon Mark. Yep, I see it.
Hey, Swain just got elbowed in the mouth.
Did Mark just get elbowed in the mouth?
Yep.
But by your boy, right? Kaufman. Yep. Like he's got so much.
And then Kaufman Wren puts a hand in Matas's face.
Does he not Draymond Green? I don't see the Draymond Green in his game.
No, for sure.
It's crazy to me. Yes. Once he gets that deep down, only way to stop him is to follow. Can't do it.
Big possession right here. By the way, that was Purdue's first field goal in almost 6 minutes.
Wow.
Kendall had to move out of there. Kendall needed to move out of there and clear, so Swain could have hit. Oh man! So he could have hit Mark in the corner for the 3, but Kendall didn't clear on that play.
Man, Swain, he almost made that shot. That was a degree of difficulty that was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Got to run the double here, so now you get the wide open 3 off the weak side. Need a wrist and a rebound. Clough got it. They're making the experience plays right now.
I can't believe he got that rebound. Damn.
Wren's been in the lane for 4 seconds, but he needed to make it 5. They're not going to call it 4.
That's brutal.
Good block from Matas. Great play from behind.
Come on. Good job. Good D.
It's off of Braden Smith's head.
Yep.
Whew, that was a
shot clock violation.
Off Clough's hand, sorry. That was shot clock violation, they called.
Clutch.
Glad he got ball first. Thank you, buddy, pal, chief big guy. Shot clock violation on that. You need to get – so this is where Purdue has a lot of experience in games like this. I mean, these guys, Braden Smith, Lawyer, these guys have played in national championship game.
Was there time left? Are they saying there was time left?
Was Matt Painter asking for a review?
Like what
hit the ground with 0.4.
He hit the ground with some time. What does that mean?
0.4.
Okay. So they
did it go off Clough's hands or Swain's hands though?
I think it went off Swain.
Okay.
Hit with 0.4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
0.4. But this is where Purdue's got a lot of experience. These guys have been in Final Fours every year. They went Sweet 16 last year. Tight game against U of H.
Oh my gosh, what are we looking at? Oh my God.
Now they're gonna have to look to see who it went off of.
Oh.
Well, it went off Swain. It looked like that angle makes it look like it was for sure off Swain's hand.
It shouldn't take that long.
No, I'm with you, Rob.
They've been already looking at it for 2 minutes now. Like, what are you? It definitely looks like Swain. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Are they even going to be able to get a shot off though?
It's got to be a catching.
They'll call a foul. They'll just lob it towards the rim for Ren, and they'll call a foul.
I mean, shoot, at this point,
he will be punching Weaver in the nuts, looking up for the ball, and they'll call a foul.
The Draymond Green special. Bam.
Yeah. He'll have his high hand up to get the foul, and he'll be punching Weaver in the nuts down low, and the ref won't even see it.
It'll be a foul on Weaver. Foul on Weaver.
It's Jerry. It's kind of disheartening though, because you look at this is the third straight tournament game Texas had where it's been low fouls in the first half. The pace is great, and then it's just it ends up being a ref show in the second half, and it's just everything just goes.
This is what I don't like. I don't like. This is the one thing I don't like about sports in general right now. We're talking about the refs too much in games.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like the review is good for sports, obviously. I mean, Colorado had 4 downs against Missouri and ended up winning a national championship back in the day. We need it, but the refs are too much of the conversation for me in sports right now. I just
100%.
There's a fine line there, and
I agree. But why are we still reviewing this? What's happening, guys? Come on, let's wrap it up.
Jason Watson. I'm not going to respond to that, but it's pretty good. All right, so Texas ball.
Ooh, that is a good comment. I agree. I will not address it. Good comment.
Take it.
Oh, good way to keep it alive. All right, he wants it.
So that's a shot. That's a shot there, and I know Mark's been on fire, but you gotta.
Yeah, that was not a good shot coming out. Yeah, coming out of
that was a tough one. He can't guard, so it's going to be 2 shots. So now it's going to be 74-70. You got to have to get. He can't guard. Our guys can't. The injured guys can't guard. Texas has to get something going to the basket. They got to get something going to the basket. Our guys are limping.
Yep.
But it's also hard. It's easy for us to sit here and say that, but Tremont Marks was 11 of 14 from the field when he took that shot. So it's easy to say that, but then you look up and you say the guy was 11 of 14 from the field.
Exactly.
Wow, Braden. Oof. Didn't count on Braden Smith missing a free throw.
He short-armed it too.
Take it though.
Got to get something going to the bucket unless it's a drive. Got to get something in an attack. See if you can get a call.
Maybe about 4 minutes. 4 minute scoring drought for Texas. There you go.
Yep. There you go. Draw. Swain's going to draw 2. Who's going to come through and make a play if he misses it?
Great job,
Weaver.
Great job, Weaver.
All right. Sean Miller calling a timeout with 59.5 left. Purdue up 1. Jerry, considering the foul situation and 2 guys on one leg and everything you've dealt with, I mean, this is you're one stop now potentially away from giving yourself a chance to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Yep, that's all you can ask for. Sting 19-7, another one. Swain killed us tonight. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, playing all 40 minutes, guarding guards on the perimeter because everybody else is limping. Swain didn't kill Texas tonight. Swain would be getting blown out without.
I'm about getting fed up of defending Dalen Swain as a basketball player.
It's ridiculous. It's just all ridiculous. Kozer, will Weaver play in the G League? No. It'll be interesting to see what he does. The NBA is about scoring the basketball.
Yep.
And you got to be able to shoot the basketball from the guard position. I think he'll maybe have a chance to play overseas if he wants to.
That's the thing,
Justin
Rod,
Mason overseas. I mean, so you can play overseas if you want to continue your career.
Yeah.
Rod, you said this before about guys that play in Canada or that continue to play in the old arena league. Like if you're physically able and still want to play, it may not be where you want, but there's a spot for you. To Jerry's point, like there's plenty of overseas leagues where if Kendall Weaver really wants to go play ball, he can go. It may not be a great living, and you may not be in a glamorous place, but you could probably go play for a little bit.
Oh yeah, and those guys, I mean, end up establishing like pretty good careers. Actually, post college over there and playing in Europe for 7, 8, 10 years if you want to, and then you can kind of build your network and start your second career if you want to. So I encourage guys, play as long as you can, because once the clock is up, it's up. Like you ain't once the game is done with you, it's done with you. So I encourage guys, play as long as you can, because you never know how the chips may fall.
Somebody asked a good one. Ryan Nelson, would you take Mark off of Smith? Abso-freaking-lutely. The problem is if you put Swain, then you have a rebound disadvantage. That's the hard thing, is you probably ideally want to put Swain on him, but then you don't have enough rebound on the interior there, because then you leave Matas with 4 fouls to battle Kaufman, Wren, and Clough on the glass. So it's interesting. I'm probably honestly playing Weaver on Smith right here, but he can't be hyper aggressive. The last thing you want to do is put Purdue at the free throw line on a bad foul. But I think it's a tough call, because ideally you'd put Swain there, but you got to be able to rebound since they have both bigs in the game.
All right.
Well, here we go. What you can't do is give up a 3 coming off a double screen to Fletcher Lawyer.
Oh,
they got the switch they want. Cody's on Smith. So here you go. This is the switch they want. They're going to let their All-American try to make the game-winning play.
And he made one.
And he did.
He's going to
That's not what you wanted on the switch right there. Cody on Smith.
Cody, oh my gosh, he's done this twice. Cody has to play half step off. He can't crowd him. You cannot
go right around you.
You have to play half step off and make him make a decision. Make him hesitate and make a decision. Make him take a contested 17-footer after he hesitates. If you crowd him, how many bigs are going to crowd Braden Smith and win?
Nobody.
Not
Go right
very
around.
many. That's just Cody's done that twice in this game, and both times were layups for Smith.
Yeah. You got to force indecision. He's making a decision for him.
You got to slow him down and force a decision.
Yeah.
And maybe you get him to pull the 17-foot fadeaway.
Yep.
All right. So we're at 38 seconds. You don't need to force a bad 3. You had to see where Cody is got a young basketball player, right? We'd expect perfection out of the young basketball players, but what he's going to have to learn as his college career goes on, whether it's Texas or somewhere else, is he had the length to not crowd. He can play a step away and still affect the shot. If he crowds, he's going to lose the quickness battle. So that's as a young basketball player, that's what he's going to have to learn. If you get switched off on a guard who can go get it, who can score it, who can really drive it on you, you have to understand you have length. Braden Smith's 5'11 and a half. There's no reason to crowd him. Yeah. You can play step away and you can still affect the shot. It's just playing smart defense as he grows as a player.
All right. Back to Pope. Oh, off of the screen. Oh, jump ball.
Ball. Texas ball.
Texas ball. All right.
21.5. All right, Sean Miller taking his last timeout right here. 21.5 left.
It was a good look from Pope. Good look, man. Good look from Pope. Yeah, this is always the tough call. This is always a tough call for coaches here. I still want to see Texas aggressive, try to get a 2. Even though the problem with Purdue is who you're going to foul. Braden Smith is a good free throw shooter. Lawyer is tremendous free throw shooter. The problem is if you go for a quick 2 here, you're dependent on Purdue doing something dumb and throwing the ball to Oscar Clough, and then you foul him. They're not. Matt Painter's not making that mistake. So this is where it's tough at the end of the game situation for Texas, because I still like to drive and see if you can get 2, maybe even draw contact. But the flip side is you have to inbound to those guys, and they're not going to give the ball to Clough and hand it to you. So you're dependent on one of their guards missing free throws, and both their guards are tremendous. By the way, Iowa's going to beat Nebraska. Ben McCallum's going to the Elite 8.
All right. See if they got another clutch one in.
Right, and on the floor you got Pope, Weaver, Mark, Swain, and Modest, or is your lineup on the floor right now? Here we go.
Purdue is a smart. They just fouled Matas on purpose to put him at the line. Smart.
That was smart. Damn.
Great learning experience for these Texas guys.
Yeah.
So the tough thing is here, if he makes it, who do you foul?
Well, we're about to find out.
Good job, Modest. See, that's improvement. That's where experience matters. Didn't go well, BYU. He comes back. That's growth in players. That's what you like to see.
All right.
That guy's going to be a problem.
All right, so
he can run the baseline. They're trying to get it to Smith. Foul. Cox immediately. There you go. That's probably the best foul you can make. He's the only guy that hadn't shot free throws tonight on the court outside Clough, and you knew they weren't going to give the ball to Clough. So at least you get a guy on the line that hadn't shot a free throw tonight. Kozer asking if Matas can be a first rounder. I might be wrong. I don't see that. I think he's going to be a second rounder after next season. And I think he'll be a guy that probably bounces. It has to spend some time in the G League as a second rounder. He's going to have to build some sort of face-up game. And maybe you can be Steven Adams, but he's not as athletic vertically as in Steven Adams. I go to Rockets game. He's broad and so long arms. They're different players, but there just aren't many Steven Adams guys in the NBA. Drew Timme was a hell of a player, can barely make it, can barely hang on. I mean, so it's his best chance. I think he's going to be drafted in the second round after another year, and I could be wrong. Maybe he ends up developing in the first rounder, but I don't see it. I think second round, and then it's going to take him some time.
Here we go.
Yep, 19 seconds.
Okay. Here we go.
And one. All right.
Wow.
Wow. Come on, you got to be – this dude is unbelievable.
Hey, that's 5 on
5 on Cluff. But you got to make the free throw here.
Huge Dalen Swain free.
Why would they foul him? Is the question.
He tried not to. He definitely did. I mean, he kept his arms high. He didn't swing down on him. Tough call on Cluff, honestly. That's a tough
bad call, you said?
We've talked about Texas got some tough calls. That's a tough call on Cluff.
Yeah.
I mean, he stayed vertical with his arms.
Yeah, but he earned that one throughout the rest of the night, though, Jerry.
Yeah, he did.
but he was aggressive, like you said, Jerry. When he was aggressive, forced the contacts, paid off for him. Get to the basket. Get to the basket.
I made the free throw. All right, here we go. 11.9 left.
Wow.
So, okay, again, growth of a team. Swain missed 2 free throws against Arizona State in Maui that cost him the game early in the season. Growth. That's what we're seeing. Not Adwater instant player.
So Painter takes one of his 2 timeouts left with 11.9 to go, tie game. That's man.
Well, you know what's going to happen here. It's Braden Smith, ball in hand, and Sean Miller's got a decision to make. Do you bring 2 at Smith and bank on somebody missing an open look? Because that's really what this is coming down to in this game, unless they catch Kaufman-Wren. I don't know if I put Kaufman-Wren in the ball screen game with Smith right now. It's going to depend on who is guarding Smith. But Sean Miller's got that decision to make. Are you going to burn the double at Smith? Because he's going to find somebody. He's not going to screw up the play. Smith will find somebody. Then it's what shot are you willing to give up? You don't want Lawyer taking a 3 at the end of the game.
No.
Because that probably means you're shaking hands and, man, we almost got there. But if you run the double at Smith, who are you willing to let take the shot? That's what this comes down to. Benter is in. Clough fouled out. So we'll see what they do here. Ball in Smith's hand. Here we go. Kendall Weaver's on him.
Ooh. Oh my God.
And there it was. Just that's the there it is. Kaufman-Wren was the
wow.
He was the matchup.
Damn. Wow. Damn, that's crazy. I had my mind all ready for overtime. Just like that. That's what Jerry was talking about with the tournament. It just break your heart just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Had my mind ready. Oh, had my heart set on it. That's brutal.
Oh, man.
That's brutal. Oh, because you didn't box out. Brutal.
Final score. Purdue wins 79-77. Yeah, basket was it over the back? I mean, I don't think you're going to call it over the back.
They're not going to call that. Didn't box out. Didn't box him out. That's your guy.
Tried to box him out, but he's a strong basketball player.
Yeah.
And you look at Texas, what they're going to do next year. They're going to go get that interior depth where then they can handle these situations better.
Jerry, Rod, with this team, we went from a pretty forgettable end of the regular season. This team had to sweat it out on Selection Sunday, had to start off in Dayton, to being a tip-in away from being in overtime with a chance to go to the Elite Eight. I know for a lot of people that's not gonna be a silver lining here, but Jerry, I'll start with you. Hell of a postseason run for Sean Miller in this program.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge for Texas. I mean, look, they went from the 11 seed to the Sweet 16, and they won. Like those first 4 games had huge TV ratings. The TV ratings are up in the NCAA tournament. If this is your first year at Texas with Sean Miller, to get to the Sweet 16, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it's going to be a grind. The SEC is a beast of a conference. There were some ups. There were some obviously a lot of downs, but they fought through after the Mississippi State game. I didn't think you'd see Texas playing here. You were just kind of hopeful Texas could find a way to make the tournament this year. But a great year. Great considering where they started probably, but not a great season, but a great way to finish a up and down regular season. To get to a Sweet 16, you get down to the final minute of the game, you have a chance to win. Purdue beat you. But here's the thing I'll say too: Texas made plays down the stretch. Matas made 2 free throws after he missed free throws against BYU. Swain, the and one and made the free throw. He missed 2 free throws against Arizona State that lost you that game in Maui. So you see the growth, you see the continued growth of this team. And we're now portals April 7th through the 21st. It's going to be really interesting to see how all this goes for Texas. But if you said in year 1 under Sean Miller at Texas, you go to the Sweet 16, I think everybody would have taken it. But it's always going to end. You're always going to have a bad taste in your mouth in the NCAA tournament, especially, a game that could have gone either way. But Tremont Mark, by the way, what a way to close out his college career. And Jordan Pope. Okay, I'm going to tell people this right now.
Go for it, Jerry.
See what comes out. I believe Jordan Pope has a hairline fracture and played with it today. I'm just here to tell you, I think my personal belief is he has a hairline fracture and played through it today. So I know people have been hard on some of these guys all season, but that dude left it on the court for Texas. I mean, I believe he has a hairline crack in his foot, and he played through it today. And Tremont Mark, what a way to go out. Great game, 11 of 15 from the field. But a lot of growth. Now we see who they get back. I don't think Texas will let Matas go. I don't care what people – and people are going to come in and try to persuade. I don't think they'll let Matas go at all costs. I think they'll bring him back, and then we'll wait on Swain's decision, what he does. Austin Gooseby coming in as a future NBA draft pick. The question is it going to be 1 or 2 years? Bo Ogden's a solid shooter off the bench next year, and it'll be the future years where he becomes a starter level player, but next year he's going to bring really good shooting off the bench, and we'll see what they build around it, how many of these guys stay, how many go, what Sean Miller does with this roster. But I think Texas will be up in NIL from last year, so they're going to be in position to make some quality moves. And if they hit on it, then I expect the Texas team to be better next year. That doesn't mean they're going to a Final Four, because you can be a better team and be a 4 seed and losing to a 13 in the first round. There's no guarantees, but I do think Texas will put a better roster together in year 2 than they did in year 1, which is natural.
Rod, just a hell of a job by Sean Miller to maximize this team and get the most out of it. You don't feel like there was any meat left on the bone after this one.
Yeah. And I feel like the team got better. I feel like players got better and the team got better as the season went on. And there's no doubt that Longhorn fans are really optimistic about what Coach Miller can do with the program, and really just, watching this team evolve and grow throughout the season. That's what Jerry's talking about, growth. We saw it on so many levels with so many different players. That's the development of Sean Miller and what he can do when he has good players. So Longhorn fans should be proud. I mean, I think it's been a successful season, even though they came up shy of hitting the Elite Eight. I mean, you were down to 1 possession to getting to the Elite Eight. So I know when it's hard, because that's heartbreaking. Hell, I'm still trying to get over it a little bit, but I think once the guys actually review the season and what they've done, they'll be really proud of it. They should be, and the future's bright for Texas basketball, man. Congrats to Coach Miller. Don't feel like it right now, but that was one hell of a run in the tournament.
Yeah. You had Modest in foul trouble pretty much the entire second half. Tremont Marks playing on one leg most of the second half. Jerry just went through the Jordan Pope situation, what he's dealing with. Cam Heidi fouled out. I mean, you you were running on fumes by the end. Dalen Swain, by the way, and look, I've already seen some of it on the game thread over on TexasFootball.com. If you think Dalen Swain is bad for this team or cost Texas this game, you're an idiot, and I don't want to hear your opinion on college basketball anymore.
100%.
Guy played 39 minutes, 15, 9 rebounds, 5 assists in 39 minutes. So
well, they haven't even finished it. He played all 40. He never came out.
Yeah.
So they haven't completed. But yeah, he guarded. You're asking him to guard the best player on their team sometimes. He's really. I mean, he has to do more for his team. Only guys in college basketball that maybe much for their team is Cam Booster, not Foster out with the cracked foot, and then Jerry at times. But at times he doesn't even have to because he's got Malik Thomas, he's got 3 NBA draft picks around him, Billy Richmond. But those are the guys, man. I mean, Dalen Swain has had an unbelievable season for Texas, and I mean, I don't know. I would say eat it.
Silver Spursico, I don't want to run that comment on the screen, but yes, I'm sure a lot of people feel your pain with that one, based off the end of that one. Jerry, we actually had a super chat. Tanner Fraser, thank you for the super chat. Says pushed off on the game-winning tip-in. Sad. Yeah, look, Jerry, they're not going to call an over the back foul in that situation.
No. I was shocked they called the foul on Clough on Swain's drive.
Yeah, the end one, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised at that too. Agreed.
Because of all the fouls they called tonight, that one I was like,
Yeah.
Terrence Jones says if that game went to OT, Texas wins. Maybe, but those guys would. I mean, Swain played the whole game. Pope was out there on a leg. Mark was on one leg. I don't know.
Modest had 4 fouls. Yeah, I don't know. Appreciate the sentiment, Terrence, but yeah, thank you for that assist there, Matthew, with the I guess the Purdue troll that was in here. Rod, I'll start with you. Final thoughts before we wrap this up.
No, man, and I'm proud of the team. I'll shout out to Jerry because when Sean Miller was hired, Jerry said, man, y'all got a hell of a basketball coach now for Texas men's basketball. I don't even know if Jerry thought it would come, that you'd actually made a seed come to fruition this quickly, but there's no doubt Texas got themselves a hell of a coach. I appreciate the Texas fight the whole team showed because, like you said, they were injured and beat up and guys in foul trouble, and yet they fought like hell. Every time they got down, they answered. So proud of the Texas fight. I think they played with a lot of heart. They played with toughness, and they'll get there in terms of the talent that Sean Miller wants. But all the intangibles, I think we saw all that on display. The entire tournament and the clutch gene from this group. I mean, they played together and they made big plays in big moments all throughout the tournament. Hell, even in this game, they just didn't make the last big play.
Jerry Chodakam with the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Says positive note: Texas NIL donors are going to push it to 15 million for Texas basketball after this game. Jerry, I don't know if you get to 15, but Sean Miller's earned every dollar that they're going to get in that NIL pool for next season.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying never, but that's an Arkansas number. I just don't see Texas there at this point. I mean, that's tier 1. There's Kentucky at 20, 21, whatever it ended up being. And then you have your tier below that I think is a lot of people have lowballed those numbers. I think from what I know, from talking to multiple college coaches, I mean, 13, 15, 16, nobody really knows on Duke private school, I think. Nobody really is going to know on that, but I think a lot of people think they're 15, 16, kind of like Arkansas and a few others are. Now we're going to have North Carolina with a war chest coming up, though. And remember I said that. North Carolina is about to hire a new coach. If you hire a new coach, they're going to come with a war chest. They're about to go way up in the stratosphere up by Kentucky numbers, I think. But I think if Texas can get to 12, 13 range, I mean, look, the team with 20 isn't going to win it every year. Yeah. I mean, Arizona may win it this year. They're not tier 1 in NIL in basketball. They're a great basketball school, but they're not tier 1. They don't have that kind of juice. They may win it this year. Michigan is tier 1 and will continue to be tier 1. And they have a tremendously NIL-built basketball team. But you don't have to be tier 1. Florida won a title with not being tier 1 last year. But I think you got to be in the ballpark to where you feel like you can get the talent to compete with those tier ones. And you got to catch lightning in a bottle if you're not tier one. You got to have a guy that kind of exceeds what you thought, what the Blue Bloods thought that guy was going to be. They passed him over and paid somebody else, and you got to kind of catch a lightning in a bottle. I think Todd Golden did a great job of that from high school recruiting with like Thomas Hawk, who was a 3-star, picked picked Florida over Georgia Tech. That was pretty much it. Alex Condon, not a highly rated guy. Chinaloo, decently rated, but wasn't really there in high school's upside and transferred in. But Florida kind of built a team like that. And I think Texas is similarly suited to build a team. And I'm not saying they're going to win a national championship. It's hard as hell. But I think they're similarly suited to where they can build that type of roster. But I think they're going to have to catch a lightning in the bottle recruit somewhere to get there, because I don't think they're going to be tier one in NIL.
Well, Rod, I want to thank you for hanging out tonight. Thanks to Matthew behind the scenes for producing it and keeping us on the air, keeping us going as always. Thanks to everybody in the chat that hung out tonight. Thanks to everybody, especially for the super chats. I want to thank our lead sponsor, Von Lane, for this live stream. Also, shout out to our friends at Hayes City Store for their sponsorship. Jerry, it's been a really good year for us doing On Texas basketball here on the channel. I know we got a big offseason planned, a lot of big stuff going on when we get to the portal. The basketball coverage will not stop here for the crew, so we'll keep it going, and looking forward to maybe bigger and better things in the 26-27 season for Sean Miller in year 2. So I want to remind everybody, got some good stuff. By the way, quick baseball update: top of the 5th, Texas up 11-0 on Oklahoma right now. So
nice.
Oklahoma should have brought their softball team.
Yeah, probably a better fight than what they're doing right now. Just want to remind you, everybody on the channel, Jerry's interview with Easton Royal, for everybody looking for some recruiting intel, that's up right now. Bases Loaded is up. Football Theory with Rod and I will be up tomorrow. So I'll always pumping out the content. And again, thanks to Matthew behind the scenes for continuing to make that happen. If you got questions, comments, concerns, anything else, make sure you address them to the guys at Coffee and Football bright and early tomorrow morning. Jerry, do you know anything on the docket for Coffee and Football tomorrow?
We'll be recapping this game, getting ready for talking trash about Texas OU baseball. Not to jinx it. Probably be previewing women's basketball a little bit. Coach Bob Shipley will be on. We'll be talking spring football as well. So we got a lot going on. Probably talk a little. Got to talk a little recruiting as well. A couple of new offers went out today. And the next time you'll see Rod on a live stream, Rod's part of that afternoon live stream crew coming up tomorrow afternoon. So you get your Rod B fix on a Friday as well. All right. Hey, once again, the final score tonight in the Sweet 16, Purdue 79, Texas 77. Hell of an NCAA tournament run for Sean Miller and the Longhorns, but it unfortunately comes to an end. Again, as Jerry said, we'll have more coverage on that here on the channel tomorrow and throughout the coming days. But until then, for Jerry, for Rod, for Matthew behind the scenes, for the entire On Texas football staff, I'm Jeff Howe. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And until next time, welcome.